Pirates God level sign in system chapter 1-20. Chapter 1_super devil fruit at the beginning. Please. The sun is shining and the sky is clear. Seagulls make calls from time to time in the air, they flutter their wings and fly over the sea very freely. The sky is so blue, like a sapphire. There was not a single wave on the sea level, and the peaceful wind Vivi was blowing. At this moment, a medium-sized brig flashed across the originally lonely sea. The speed of this ship was not fast. It sailed leisurely on the sea like a proud peacock. However, no one could have imagined that this ship turned out to be a pirate ship. Yes, the ship has a skull emblem, which represents a pirate. On the deck of the ship, there are a lot of vicious people. They dress casually and drink and fight unscrupulously. As soon as they go to sea, they live a life of looting and drinking blood. Of course, in addition to these pirates, there is also a human who looks different. He was wearing large colored shorts that showed his knees, stepped on a cool and casual splint, and also wore a pair of black sunglasses, which made him stand out among the pirates. At this time, he was at the helm, controlling the direction of the entire ship. It is estimated that after walking for a while, we should be able to reach the Goya Kingdom. These pirates should not know that I changed the direction privately, right? Shu Kang prayed silently in his heart. The navigator of this group of pirates originally fell ill and died, but Shu Kang happened to appear in front of this group of pirates, and was naturally invited by force. Of course, this group of pirates did not regard Shu Kang as their own, but only regarded him as a tool that could be used. For these cruel pirates, as long as Shu Kang brought them to their destination, they would have nothing to do with it. Kill Shu Kang mercilessly, and then recruit fresh blood again. Hey, boy, we should have arrived at our destination this morning. How come it's noon now, and we haven't seen the shadow of the island and land yet? The person who asked the question was the captain of the ship and the captain of the pirate group, named Yabu. Captain Yabu is an extremely vicious robber with a reward of millions of Baileys. He is most proud of his spear skills. It is said that he is a pirate with 100 hits. Shu Kang is a smart person. Seeing that the pirate leader was angry, he naturally reassured him immediately. Mr. Yabu, it may be a little bit deviated from the position. I will adjust it and I will be there soon. Captain Yabu's temper was not that good. He grabbed Shu Kang directly and smashed Shu Kang to the ground very easily. Boom! Shu Kang fell to the ground, and even his handsome sunglasses were smashed. Bastard! Boy, the reason why you can live and take the helm here is because of my kindness and the value in you. Captain Yabu showed his vicious face very easily. Don't think I don't know, you feed the mother and daughter prisoners with food every day. I've said it before, don't give them food. If you dare to disobey me, be careful I throw you in the sea to feed the sharks. Captain Yabu glared at Shu Kang fiercely. Shu Kang didn't know how to respond for a while, so he nodded silently. Seeing Shu Kang nodding, Captain Yabu turned around. Bastard! Shu Kang cursed inwardly. Although he was extremely resentful, he had to endure it. Since he crossed into the world of pirates, he has not awakened any special abilities, which left him completely without any strength to fight back, so he was forced to accept everything in front of him. As a transmigrator, I'm too miserable, right? Others have golden fingers or something. What about me? Nothing. What the hell is going on? Shu Kang wondered, could it be that he would such a mediocre life? However, just when Shu Kang couldn't understand his future, he seemed to see the land not far away. That's the Goya Kingdom, right? I remember the Windmill village in this kingdom. It seems to be the hometown of the pirate protagonist Luffy. As a traveler, Shu Kang was naturally very interested in anime characters. Immediately afterwards, a sudden voice made him once again full of hope for life. Ding ding ding. Congratulations. Arrived at Windmill Village. You have successfully signed in. This is the first location you have arrived at so far, and the God level sign in system has been successfully activated. Congratulations. Rewarded. Super Devil Fruit. The sound was a bit loud and it came so suddenly, it naturally startled Shu Kang. Shu Kang quickly turned around, for fear that other people would hear the sound as well. However, Shu King thought too much. The pirates on the deck are all looking at the Windmill village at this time, showing an evil expression. They are preparing weapons, and plan to burn, kill and loot here. And they didn't seem to hear the huge voice just now. When Shu King turned his head again, he found that a very beautifully crafted box appeared in front of him. The patterns on the box are extremely detailed and exquisite, which can be called ingenious. The important thing is that Shu King felt that the things in this box seemed to be inextricably linked with him. Open it and have a look. Shu King gently lifted the lid of the box, and inside lay a black fruit that looked a bit like an enlarged version of a black strawberry. This is. Shu King has seen devil fruits in the anime, Zone, Paramesha, and Logia don't seem to look like this. This is a super devil fruit, you can eat it with confidence. The mysterious voice appeared again, although Shu King was on guard against unfamiliar voices, but when he thought about what he had to encounter now, he naturally became agitated. He couldn't let those pirates dominate his life either. It doesn't matter, instead of letting these pirates torture to death, it's better to fight it yourself. Eat it. Shu King then picked up the black fruit and took a bite. Shu King almost vomited. He had never eaten something so unpalatable before, and instinctively wanted to vomit. However, the thirst for the mysterious power of devil fruit made him restrained. Shu King tried his best and finally swallowed the mouthful, but he no longer had the courage to take the second mouthful. However, something like a devil fruit can gain power when you take the first bite, so there is no need to take a second bite. Immediately afterwards, Shu King felt a strange feeling. His whole body began to heat up, and that warm feeling immediately swept through every part of his body. Shu King felt that his whole body was as if he had soaked in a hot spring, and he felt very comfortable. Shu King felt that his body's functions were rapidly strengthening, and his heart was also very excited. It stands to reason that the stronger the person who eats the fruit, the more incisively and vividly the power of the fruit can be exerted. However, this time, Shu King felt that it was this fruit that brought him a huge improvement. The originally thin body and inconspicuous muscles have now become plump with the power of fruit. Chapter 2-Destroy the Pirates. Ask for a silver ticket. In less than a minute, Shu King felt that he had changed from a DOC to a handsome fitness man. Although the muscles on the body did not explode and swell, they were extremely well proportioned and looked very comfortable. The changes on Shu King's side naturally attracted the attention of Captain Yabu and the surrounding pirates. Grass. Shu King. What the hell are you doing? The pirates were all attracted by Shu King's changes, and they all questioned. Why are you so energized? What's going on? Could it be that he saw a place with humans and wanted to loot with us? I said, don't you want to be a pirate too? Ha ha. Shut up. At this time, Captain Yabu came out and saw a strange Shu King. He grabbed Shu King and threatened him very fiercely. Boy, I advise you not to play tricks. Otherwise, that's it. Captain Yabu turned pale in shock, and Shu King in his hand stood motionless in front of him, unable to drag him no matter what. What is the result? Now Shu King no longer has to be bullied by these pirates, and naturally intends to settle the previous accounts one by one. At this time, he squinted at Captain Yabu in front of him, and his attitude became a lot worse. He had completely ignored Captain Yabu. You bastard! Captain Yabu cursed angrily and exerted all his strength again, but he found that no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't lift Shu King up. What's the matter? Did you eat a weight? Seeing this, Captain Yabu immediately glared at the subordinates who were watching the excitement, and then cursed. You bastards! Don't take care of this stinky boy for me. I didn't expect this stinky bastard to eat and drink from me, and now he dares to resist me. How dare you go against the boss? Don't this guy want to live? The subordinates of the Yabu pirates acted immediately. They took advantage of the number of people to surround Shu King first. The pirates with guns raised their muskets and aimed at Shu King. If it was said that in the past, Shu King would definitely bow his head and endure, he used to be an ordinary person. But, now that the God-level sign in system has been awakened, it has become different. He no longer has to be a man with his tail tucked in. Do you want to teach me a lesson? Don't ask yourself, do you have this qualification now? Shu Kang's mouth raised Vivi. His eyes were full of contempt. His words showed great confidence and contempt for this group of pirates. Bastard. Since that's the case, let you experience what despair is. Captain Yabu has always been hot-tempered. At this time, he couldn't bear it anymore. He waved to his subordinates and said, "Kill him. Anyway, we have found the target. He is useless. Boy, don't blame us. If you want to blame yourself." The surrounding pirates had already locked Shu Kang with their muskets, and they finally pulled the trigger under the captain's order. Just listening to countless, bang sounds, deafening. Countless bullets burst out, and the target was naturally Shu Kang. Shu Kang still didn't have any fear. He was the one who got that super devil fruit. "Let me see what you are capable of. Legendary devil fruit," Shu Kang said in his heart, and then, his whole body turned to the outside, and endless darkness spread out. At the same time, a black shadow appeared behind Shu Kang. This shadow was attached to Shu Kang's back. Although he couldn't see the exact appearance of the shadow, he could see the red eyes. Staring at these eyes, I can feel the inexplicable chill and coldness, as if falling into the abyss. The next second, the entire Yabu pirates were stunned. Most of them didn't know what happened. They thought that Shu Kang would be shot to death, but now they are still standing in front of them unharmed. What's even more terrifying is that Shu Kang has now turned into such a terrifying monster. "How is it? I said that you are not qualified to fight against me at all," Shu Kang said calmly, completely ignoring these pirates. Captain Yabu was shocked, and then immediately thought of something. "Don't panic. This guy should have the ability to eat devil fruit. I didn't expect him to hide so deeply. Not afraid of bullets. Then he must be afraid of knives. Everyone, chop him into meat sauce with me." Under the leadership of Captain Yabu, all the pirates dispatched in unison, and they all took out their knives, aggressively rushed towards Shu Kang. Shu Kang Vivi shook his head and said, "You guys, you still don't understand, the gap between you and me now. Well, I'll move my muscles and let you see my fruit ability." After speaking, Shu Kang finally shook his head, took a step forward, and then pushed out with a palm. At the same time, the long arms of the shadow behind Shu Kang also became longer in an instant, as if it was pushed out by Shu Kang's palm. This huge black arm is so powerful that it even made a sound of breaking through the air. With just a push of the palm, the group of pirates who were trying to slash at Shu Kang with their knives were knocked into the air. What a terrifying power, defeated us with a single blow. Is this really the power of the devil fruit? Or, this guy is the devil himself? What should we do? We are no match for this guy at all. Go get the cannon. Blast at this guy. I don't believe it. I can't kill this bastard. Captain Yabu also seemed to have lost his mind. He never thought that the boy who had been pressed by his own would actually salt fish. Turning over, he must kill Shu Kang, so as to establish his prestige. He wants to tell Shu Kang that he is the boss of this ship. Shu Kang's counterattack didn't stop. He turned around, and his huge black slender arms stretched out. Shu Kang clenched his fists tightly, and the demon's claws clenched into a demon's fist. This fist slammed out with a broken sound, and the surrounding pirates were instantly bombarded and seriously injured. Many pirates even directly was beaten overboard and fell into the water. "Captain Yabu, I have been putting up with you, but I didn't expect that you would go so far as to take me less and less as a human being, and now I will make you pay the price. I think you are ready." Shu Kang then gently stretched out his hand and held it so gently. At the same time, the demon's black arm behind him stretched out like that. Shu Kang easily grabbed Captain Yabu and held it in the palm of your hand. Although Captain Yabu struggled desperately and tried his best, he couldn't break free no matter what. "Let go of me, Shu Kang, you bastard. You brat. If it wasn't for me, you would have drowned in the sea. If you fall into my hands, it will definitely make your life worse than death. Captain Yabu in his hands, although Shu Kang had his life under his control, was still scolding and looked down on others, so Shu Kang's murderous intention was great. But just at this time, a pirate pushed the cannon out and fired it at Shu Kang with a bang. Immediately afterwards, the cannon was about to hit Shu Kang, and at this moment, Shu Kang's body shook, and the black figure stretched out a pair of black wings. The wings were extremely huge, completely protecting Shu Kang inside. The moment the cannonball hit Shu Kang actually fanned out with his wings. Not only did the cannonball not explode, but Shu Kang completely bounced it off. Ah, who the hell are you? Captain Yabu is really flustered now. Even a devil fruit person should not have such a mysterious ability. Logia, not Paramesha, it doesn't seem to be. But Zone, seems like no animal is like this. Looks like a demon. Yabu's heart is growing with fear, not only because of Shu Kang's strength, more is the fear of Shu Kang's unknown abilities. What the hell is going on here? He can't hide his strength. I just cleaned him up just now. The change just started. Could it be that this guy just ate a devil fruit? Captain Yabu suddenly realized his self-righteousness. Shu Kang, let me live, otherwise, I will kill the mother and daughter. Captain Yabu was about to die, but he still didn't repent, and he still kept his self-righteous face. Shu Kang couldn't take it anymore. You are clearly in my palm, yet you dare to threaten me. Don't worry, I will save the two of them, but there is no need for anyone other than them to live. You have done all evil, and it's time to suffer the consequences. Shu Kang's eyes gradually turned cold. His hands were getting harder and harder, and Captain Yabu became less and less able to resist. Soon, the evil Captain Yabu was pinched by Shu Kang and lost his life. As for the remaining pirates, seeing that the captain was dead, they attacked Shu Kang again. Shu Kang shuttled between the pirates, and the mysterious shadow behind him was like a harvester of life. He quickly waved his arms and wings. In less than a while, the pirates on the entire ship were almost slaughtered. Chapter 3_God level sign in system. Ask for a silver ticket. Ah, you are a devil. You are a devil. Ah. The only remaining pirates on the pirate ship eventually lost consciousness in disbelief. Shu Kang saw that the pirates on the whole ship had been completely eliminated by himself, so he put away his abilities. And what is the black shadow attached to Shu Kang? Naturally a devil. The devil fruit Shu Kang ate was not any of the common Paramesha, Logia, and Zone, but a devil fruit, that had never appeared in the original book. Shu Kang's fruit ability is to let the devil possess himself, so as to improve his ability. This fruit seems to be a bit similar to Zone. After all, it has the high explosive power of Zone, but at the same time it has the superpower of Paramesha and the natural ability of Logia. Even Shu Kang was very satisfied at this moment. That's right, system, you are here after all. If you don't come, I may lose hope in this world. Immediately afterwards, the pirate ship had been moored on this island. As for Shu Kang, he directly entered the cabin. The cabin was very dark. However, Shu Kang, who possessed the power of a demon, also possessed many superpowers, such as night vision. In the dark, you can see clearly. Entering the door of a room, Shu Kang knocked on the door. A cry for help came from the door. Don't come in, pirates. If you come in, I will die in front of you, and then you will no longer know the location of the mysterious treasure. The speaker was a middle-aged woman, and she was obviously very scared. Shu Kang responded immediately. Auntie, hello, I'm Shu Kang. Those pirates have died and will never hurt you again, you can rest assured. What? Is this true? The woman inside was obviously suspicious, but she finally opened the door. At this time, there was a girl about the age of Shu Kang in the door, and next to her was the middle-aged woman. The two knew Shu Kang. Captain Yabu locked them up before, and only Shu Kang secretly gave them something to eat. Is what you said true? Shu Kang, those pirates are really dead. Who killed them? The middle-aged woman felt very surprised. After all, Yabu was also among the East Blue. The domineering pirate has a reward of several million Baileys, and ordinary people will never be his opponents. Shu Kang didn't know how to explain it, so he made up a random reason and said, "They were all taken care of by others, and I don't know what happened. Now the three of us are left on the whole ship, let's get off the ship and take a look." Later, at Shu Kang's invitation, the two followed Shu Kang and left the pirate ship. This is the Goya Kingdom. The village with windmills not far from here is called Windmill Village. Let's go and have a rest. The boat should be fine here. Shu Kang pointed at the map and introduced it. The middle-aged woman's name is Harley, and her daughter's name is Neri. They were originally on a merchant ship, but after these pirates ran into the merchant ship, they naturally plundered desperately. In the end, almost all the people on the ship were killed, and Harley finally revealed a mysterious news, and finally she and her daughter were left behind. Captain Yabu wanted to torture them, but the news of the mysterious treasure in Harley's mouth was very important, and in the end, Captain Yabu had to imprison the two together. At that time, Shu Kang crossed into this world with his life, and was finally salvaged by the evil Captain Yabu. Shu Kang accidentally revealed that he could sail, and then he became the sailor of the Yabu pirates. Scholar. The three finally came to the Windmill Village. The environment here is very beautiful, very quiet, and staying here has a very comfortable feeling. Shu Kang looked at the big windmill and couldn't help thinking, it's really a good place, I don't know where the pirate timeline is now. And just when Shu Kang was thinking about it, the sudden voice of the system sounded again. Host, if you have any questions, you can communicate with me at any time. The system said. Shu Kang still looked around and looked very cautious. Don't worry, no one in this world can hear my voice except you, the system said. It turns out, it's really very human. System, I want to know more about you, I didn't seem to have this opportunity before. Shu Kang sat cross-legged on the ground and began to seriously communicate with the system. Of course, the name of this system is called the God-level sign-in system. As the name suggests, you can get different abilities by signing in at different locations. The system said, because you signed in for the first time, the system issued you a super devil fruit reward, but this kind of devil fruit does not exist in this world. Quote. Shu Kang nodded and said, indeed, I have never heard of the devil fruit. But this fruit is indeed very powerful, and even my usual state has been affected well. The system's tone responded with some pride. Of course, the reason why this fruit is called a super devil fruit is because of its comprehensive ability. Not only can he guide ability people to become stronger and stronger on weekdays, but he also has a variety of potentials and can be combined with many abilities. The most important thing is that this kind of fruit will not make you afraid of seawater. Shu Kang was pleasantly surprised by the system's words again and again. He had only used it once before, so Shu Kang naturally hadn't carefully understood his ability to obtain fruit. Now that I hear the explanation of the system, I am naturally amazed. I'll ask you about the fruit in the future. I want to know, where can I get rewards by signing in? Shu Kang asked. System responded, you should know about Monkey D. Luffy. Yes, of course I know, after all, it is the protagonist of the original book. Some of the iconic locations that Straw Hat Luffy arrives at will be the check-in locations, and each time you sign in, there will be random rewards, including abilities from the pirate world, and items from other worlds. All in all, there will definitely be something that will surprise you, and something that will drive you crazy. Stay tuned. The system also sold a pass. Okay, by the way, how can the sign-in be considered a success? Shu Kang asked again. It's simple, you just need to stay near this place for a while, it's enough, the system said. That's good. Shu Kang originally thought that the super devil fruit he had obtained was already the biggest golden finger, but now it seemed that he was even more pleasantly surprised. You don't need to do anything, as long as you reach a certain place, you will be rewarded. Such a cool thing naturally makes Shu Kang laugh so hard that his teeth are about to fall out. The last question, Now I have a timeline, can you tell me? Shu Kang asked the question he most wanted to know. Chapter 4 _ Battle against Luffy. Ask for a silver ticket. Shu Kang asked again, but the system did not respond to him. Go to the tavern, you will understand naturally. The system was silent for a while, and then there was no movement. The bistro. If he hadn't read the original book, Shu Kang would still be in disbelief that there would be a tavern in such a friendly town. Moreover, the pub here seems to be open 24 hours a day, in broad daylight. Shu Kang then walked into this tavern. On the bar counter of the tavern, a woman was wiping her wine glass seriously. In the entire tavern, there were not many people at this time. In addition to the faint smell of wine, there was a hint of the fragrance of flowers. Shu Kang then sat at the bar and ordered a glass of the most normal beer. Then I drank it with a big mouth and saw that there were some meat skewers on the menu, so I also ordered a few skewers, which was very comfortable. Shu Kang then took out Bailey, who was snatched from the pirate ship. Boss, I want to ask, is there a person named Luffy here? The female clerk returned Bailey to Shu Kang and said, may I ask who you are? I'm Luffy's friend. Shu Kang said. However, the clerk immediately smiled and nodded and said, so it's Luffy's friend. We can't have these Baileys, or Luffy will blame me. When will Luffy come over? Shu Kang asked directly. The tavern in Windmill Village can be said to be a place where Luffy has a high probability of appearing. Not necessarily when. Before he could finish speaking, only a loud bang was heard. Boom. The door of the tavern was kicked open. Immediately afterwards, a group of people who looked very nasty walked slowly to the front of the bar, while Shu Kang was eating meat skewers and drinking beer on his own, not caring at all. Hey, serve us wine. I want all your wine. The speaker was obviously a boss, and he looked like he was not to be messed with. Shu Kang squinted at these people and saw at a glance that these people were bandits. Of course, these people are just a group of ordinary bandits, but they are a bit arrogant and domineering. Okay, please wait a moment. Seeing this, the female clerk changed her color slightly, and immediately started to prepare beer. At this time, the head of the talking bandit walked slowly to Shu Kang's side, and also sat on the bar. We've packed this place, you kid, you can leave. The bandit leader said to Shu Kang very rudely. Boss, this meat skewer is pretty good. Give me 2 more skewers, and 2 glasses of good beer. Shu Kang almost ignored the bandit chief beside him. Bandit leader didn't get angry, just asked Isho coldly, boy. Didn't you hear me? Are you trying to mess with me? The female clerk is a little embarrassed, she doesn't know if she should get something for Shu Kang now. Take yours, don't worry about the rest. Shu Kang said confidently. Seeing this, the female clerk had to serve the food honestly. Seeing that Shu Kang didn't give himself face like this, the bandit leader was completely angry. This kid is shameless. Let's go together. Take care of him. When the leader of the bandit was about to teach Shu Kang a lesson, there was a sudden dong. At the door. Rubber pistol. A young voice came, and I saw a young man wearing a straw hat, a splint, and a dress similar to Shu Kang. He punched and his hands became longer. Although it was only one move, it had already defeated a lot of bandits. Luffy. Shu Kang was a little excited when he saw Luffy, and the bandit chief beside him put a knife on Shu Kang's neck, as if he was going to take Shu Kang as a hostage. Hey, who are you kid? We don't make river water. The bandit leader was still very panicked. After all, the young man in front of him knocked all his men down with just one blow. It's abominable to take someone else as a hostage. Luffy was very angry when he saw the situation in front of him, but no matter how fast he was not as fast as a bandit leader, and he didn't know what to do for a while. However, at this time, Shu Kang didn't have any worries. You want to hold me hostage? Do you have the qualifications? Shu Kang asked the question as soon as he asked. The whole person turned into a puff of black smoke, and then he stretched out his demonic hand and tightly held the head of the bandit chief. The huge devil's hand held the head of the bandit's head, as if holding an ant. You, what kind of monster are you? The bandit leader was so frightened that he didn't know what to say. In addition to the bandit leader, Luffy and the female clerk were also surprised. This is the power of the devil fruit. After Shu King finished speaking, he directly used the devil's claw to catch all the bandits, and finally threw them all away. In the end, these bandits were immortal and crippled. And all this, the most interesting, is naturally Luffy. Wow, are you also a devil fruit power user? What power is this? It's amazing. It seems to be very powerful. Luffy stared at Shu King for a long time like a curious baby. Female clerk asked back, Luffy, aren't you friends? Don't you know each other? Before Luffy could say anything, Shu King interrupted and said to the female clerk with a smile, Excuse me, miss, this money will be used as your compensation. Besides, help me get the meat and drinks that I can't finish eating. Endless wine, I'm going to have a good chat with Luffy. Okay, I see. The clerk didn't say no, but Luffy was drooling. You are so kind. Meat, meat, meat. What's your name? Do we really know each other? Luffy then happily chatted with Shu King. My name is Shu King. I am a devil fruit person. We didn't know each other before, but now we are friends. I can treat you to eat meat for a lifetime, but I want to ask you one thing. Shu King said. What's the matter? Luffy's meat came up, so he asked as he ate. Are you planning to go to sea recently? Can you come with me? Shu King asked. According to the system's prompts, as long as you follow Luffy to various places, you will naturally get various rewards, which naturally plays an extremely important role in improving Shu King's strength. How do you know? My dream is to be One Piece, King of Pirates. I'm going to sea soon. You want to go to sea with me? Of course. Luffy has a very good impression of Shu King, and now if someone is willing to be his companion, he is naturally very willing. However, I have a proposal. If you are the captain, I must be the deputy captain. Until you become One Piece, King of Pirates. How? Shu King asked tentatively. Well, okay, but you want to do me a favor too. Is that okay? Luffy asked as he ate. What? Have a good fight with me, just on a whim. It's interesting, your ability is fun. Luffy said naively. Shu King said with a smile, my ability is not for fun. If you are not careful, you may be killed. However, if I have to discuss with you before I can get on your boat, then I have no choice but to ugly. Chapter 5 Going to Sea. Ask for a silver ticket. After the two finished eating meat and drinking wine, they walked to an open space in Windmill Village as agreed. My name is Shu King. Shu King introduced himself again. My name, Monkey D. Luffy, is the man destined to become One Piece, King of Pirates. Luffy also introduced himself very seriously. Immediately afterwards, the two sides prepared their respective fighting postures and were ready to fight at any time. Come on. Luffy grabbed the ground with both hands, pulled his entire body back, and then used the elasticity and ductility of the rubber to bounce straight towards Shu King. Luffy rushed over very quickly, but in the blink of an eye, he was already in front of Shu King. And Luffy was ready to go, ready to use his hands behind him to hit Shu King heavily. It turned out to be a rubber rocket launcher. Shu King saw through Luffy's attack at a glance, and naturally he counterattacked immediately. Shu King's speed is even faster. He turned around slightly, dodged nimbly, and in an instant, Luffy's attack failed. At the same time, Shu King grabbed Luffy's weightless body and used his own strength to rotate it 360 degrees. After several laps, Shu King threw Luffy out. Due to his weightlessness, Luffy can no longer control his body. Now, Shu King has been turned around so many times. When he stands up, his eyes are naturally swirling, and he feels the world spinning. Wow, so dizzy. Your reaction time is so fast. Come again. Shu King knew that Luffy would not fail once, so he gave up, so he encouraged him to try again. Sure enough, Luffy stood up and paused for a while, then said, "Rubber machine gun." This time, Luffy used his relatively powerful move in the early stage, which was to use the characteristics of his rubber fruit to attack the target in front of him with extremely fast speed. Shukang naturally showed no signs of weakness, and directly used his devil fruit ability. The devil possessed himself behind him, and with just one wing, he blocked all of Luffy's rubber machine guns. Luffy was shocked when he saw this, but the attack in his hand did not stop at all, but continued to output. Bang bang bang. Countless attacks landed on Shukang's wings, but Shukang was still unscathed. Shukang said, "Luffy, you are quite persevering, but don't forget, I haven't really started to attack yet." After Shukang's voice fell, the wings immediately bounced back outwards, and an extremely strong reaction force bounced off the demon's wings behind Shukang. And Luffy's whole body was like a cannonball, and it was thrown out by the heavy bullets. Luffy finally fell to the ground, but stood up very neatly. "Luffy, you are not my opponent now, but if you still want to try, I can accompany you." Shukang would never give up so easily until Luffy. Sure enough, Luffy rushed towards Shukang once again, his eyes were extremely firm. However, Shukang did not intend to continue spending time with Luffy this time. He released the power of his devil fruit, and the black wings of the devil grew directly behind him. Stretched out from behind. What? Luffy hasn't seen such a scene, and even forgot to attack for a while. And Shukang pushed it gently, and Luffy's whole body was knocked flying again. This time, Luffy could no longer stand up even with his great will. After all, what Shukang possessed was a super devil fruit. Was not happy when he saw Luffy's defeat. All this was only reasonable. Then Shukang immediately sent Luffy to the doctor for treatment. This guy, how could he be injured so badly? The doctor in the village seemed to know Luffy, and he was shocked when he saw Luffy's injury, but a normal person would have died with such an injury. Fortunately, Luffy was the protagonist and didn't die so easily. Under the doctor's careful care, Luffy finally got better. Shukang, who knew Luffy, straightened up a lot of meat. When Luffy saw the meat, it was like a monkey seeing a banana. After eating it, all of it miraculously recovered. "Shukang, you are so strong. I have decided, in the future, you can be the captain, and I will be the deputy captain." Luffy didn't seem to take this title seriously, and Shukang naturally didn't think it was so reliable. If the development of the basic plot is changed, how will Shukang sign in then? Shukang refused again and again, but Luffy seemed determined to recognize Shukang as the captain. In the end, he had no choice. Shukang said that in the future, the pirate group will have 2 captains when it grows. Finally Luffy agreed. Day by day, Shukang has been familiarizing himself with his abilities and purchasing some necessities for going overseas. The end, Shukang finally planned to go out to sea with Luffy. The two boarded the previous Yabu pirate's boat and replaced the pirate flag with the Straw Hat pirate flag. Although the way of opening is wrong, everything is officially set sail like the original. As for the previous mother and daughter, they finally chose to stay in Windmill village, but in order to repay Shukang's kindness for rescuing them, the middle-aged woman told Shukang the information about the mysterious treasure. Finally, Shukang and Luffy started sailing with great excitement. At the beginning, the whole sea was calm, cloudless, and the sun was warm. However, I didn't know where I was, and the storm began to thunder, and there was almost no tacit understanding between the two. In the end, the whole ship completely lost its direction. The two started a random sailing journey on the sea. Today, I'm going to starve to death. Shukang, can you make food? Can you eat your wings? Luffy is so hungry that he starts talking nonsense. Don't be kidding, Luffy. Our boat is very big, but it's useless. If we don't have food, I think we won't be able to hold it. Shukang said very tiredly. It can be said that with Luffy, it is even harder and more tiring than sailing on the sea alone. Hey, look, what is that? Shukang saw a boat sailing on the sea, and naturally he immediately shared it with Luffy. And Luffy jumped up happily. Wow, there's a boat. We're going to be saved. Luffy then grabbed the mast and pushed back, eventually bouncing himself over the boat. This guy, really worry. Didn't you see the pirate flag on the opposite side? Shu King shook his head, and finally used the devil's wings to quickly fly to the opposite pirate ship. The power of the devil consumes Shu King's energy and physical strength, but it does not consume much. After Shu King landed on the deck, he found that Luffy had been surrounded by pirates on this ship. Wow, we just want some food. Why are you doing this? Luffy couldn't understand why the people on the boat were yelling at him and trying to attack him. Genius, this is a pirate ship. Shu King explained. We are pirates too. Luffy pointed to himself. The pirates on the other side were naturally more nervous. A conflict naturally began inexplicably like this. Chapter 6 Alvida ________. As soon as the pirates on the boat rushed out, they immediately surrounded Luffy and Shu King. The pirates are all ferocious, and the pirate in the lead is fat and ugly, wearing a white hat, a uniform, and a huge mace in his hand. And behind her, in addition to the group of bulls, ghosts and snakes, there is a teenager with fan hair and glasses. Kobe, the woman asked fiercely. Who is the most beautiful in this sea? The woman asked. Kobe touched the back of his head and said respectfully, that must be the captain of this ship, Miss Alvida. Ha ha ha, well said. These guys are actually leading a pirate ship, it seems to be a very good prey. Catch them. Alvida finally ordered the attack. Yes. The pirates under him agreed, and then rushed towards Luffy and Shu King. Female pirate, Alvida, isn't that the pirate from the beginning of One Piece, King of Pirates? In this way, everything seems to be developing normally according to the direction of the plot, which is good. Shu King was determined, he was afraid that he would disturb the plot and eventually go to other places, and eventually he could not sign in and become stronger. Although this group of pirates are numerous and powerful, their strength is rotten. Just Luffy has already knocked down many pirates to the ground. How is that possible, Captain? This guy's arms have grown longer. How is that possible? Is this guy a monster? The pirates didn't know what to do at this time. Damn, don't be afraid. This guy should be a devil fruit person. Just go and attack another person. Alvida knew that the persimmon was soft, so his subordinates rushed towards Shu King immediately. Shu King said lightly, you really chose the wrong person. Immediately afterwards, Shu King also directly released the power of his devil fruit, and the whole person was instantly possessed by a devil behind his back. The demon behind him, which is like energy, has gradually turned into an entity, and Shu King's strength is obviously much stronger. In the face of the pirates who came here, Shu King was naturally merciless. He simply waved his arm and kicked a few feet, and the terrifying power was released on the pirates. Countless pirates actually collapsed like this. On the ground. This guy is even scarier than this kid. Captain, what should I do now? These two guys are too mysterious. We are no match for these two guys at all. Captain, he is too strong. Could it be that he is also a devil fruit person? Pirates were losing ground. Captain Alvida's face was extremely low at this time. She smashed the mace in her hand heavily on the boat, and then glared at Luffy and Shu King and said, you two stinky boys. Just let me so beautiful Alvida pack it up. Quote. Wow ha ha ha, beautiful Alvida. Luffy laughed immediately after hearing that. Bastard. What are you laughing at? Am I right? Kobe, come on, am I the most beautiful woman at sea? Alvida asked, looking at Kobe fiercely. Shu King said, Kobe, don't be suppressed by his power to truly be yourself. I know you dare to speak your true words. Yeah, don't tell lies, just say what's on your mind. Luffy also persuaded. Then Kobe finally got up his courage and said, Captain Alvida. You are the ugliest ugly old woman on the sea. Wow ha ha ha. Luffy laughed when he heard that. Bastard. Kobe, I'm going to kill you. At this moment, Alvida waved the mace in his hand again, and it was about time to hit Kobe in front of him. Shukang had already used the devil's wings to instantly rush in front of Alvida, and Shukang tightly grasped the mace. Even though Alvida exerted all her strength, she was still unable to shake Shukang. Bastard! How is this possible? Someone stronger than me. Alvida was still in a state of surprise. At this time, Shukang easily pulled Alvida's entire body up. The shadow of the demon behind him grew bigger and bigger, and in the end, it was easy to throw Alvida into the endless air. It's over. Shukang looked at Kobe and comforted him. This ship was the base camp of the Alvida pirates. After the pirates were thrown into the water, Shukang and Luffy naturally seized the ship. They had abandoned the ship that was bruised before. However, just as Luffy and Shukang were fighting with Alvida and other pirates, the Yabu pirate ship seemed to have been snatched away by someone else. Luffy was still confused and asked, "What's going on?" I said. After Shukang saw the orange-haired figure who was robbing the ship, he already had the answer in his heart, but he pretended not to know. "It doesn't matter, that ship doesn't have much stuff left. Why don't we use this ship as our ship? Change the pirate flag and you can start sailing again," Shukang suggested. Of course it's good. Luffy naturally knew that there was a lot of food and water on this ship, at least to allow everyone to continue the next adventure. And Kobe looked at Shukang and Luffy and didn't know what to say at first, but soon, Shukang made Kobe temporarily forget about being ravaged by Alvida, and opened his heart. "My dream is to be Marine, how about you?" Kobe asked. "My dream is to be One Piece, King of Pirates," Luffy said. And Shukang said with a smile, "My dream is to go on an adventure with One Piece, King of Pirates, and finally watch him become One Piece, King of Pirates." After hearing this dream, Luffy's eyes changed when he looked at Shukang. "My God, Shukang, you are just born to be my partner." Luffy was very excited. Shukang said lightly, "Isho, as the captain, you have to work harder, otherwise you can't even protect the crew, that's not good." "Don't worry, I will definitely protect my comrade." Luffy's eyes burst with great faith. And then what everyone has to do is put Kobe in the nearest marine base. After all, Kobe is relatively suitable for going to marine for development. After meeting Garp and being trained well, he can also improve a lot of his own strength. Both Kobe and Shukang knew a little about sailing, so the boat naturally went along the right path. "Hey, Kobe, are we really there?" Luffy asked in disbelief. "Of course. It's the most basic ability of a navigator. Don't you ever take the helm?" Kobe asked rhetorically. "Trust me, he's really a road idiot. Although Luffy is a little bit better than Zoro, it's only a little bit better." "Ha. Luffy laughed when he heard that. "Mr. Luffy, now is not the time to laugh. Roronoa Zoro, that's where he got caught." Chapter 7_Pirate Hunter Zoro. Ask for a silver ticket. The famous pirate hunter, Roronoa Zoro. Kobe then recalled Zoro's situation with a look of fear on his face. "He is like a bloodthirsty beast, a man who harvested the head of a pirate who was offered a bounty and smashed it to pieces. People called him a monster in human skin," Kobe said a little unsettled. Seeing this, Shukang smiled and said to Luffy, "I think it's better to invite such a vicious person to our ship and become our crew member. What do you think?" "It's a really good idea." Luffy also felt very reasonable. Seeing this, Kobe was very surprised and complained, "Are you listening? This guy, I said he is an extremely vicious demon." Hee. Shukang didn't care what Kobe said, but continued to drive towards Marine Base. The atmosphere on the ship became a little weird, but soon, everyone had arrived at the town where Marine Base could be seen. Marine Base in the distance, and the peaceful town close by, and the town is full of lively markets. When Luffy saw this, he raised his hand excitedly and shouted, "Finally landed. It's been a long time since I went ashore. We are pirates. Let's be as low-key as possible." Kobe agreed with Shukang's words, but Luffy didn't listen at all. At this point, Luffy had already landed and started urging the two of them. Shuking and Kobe had to follow Luffy into the market. On both sides of the street, there are some stalls and hawkers, with a dazzling array of goods, all kinds of fruits and vegetables, and Luffy's eyes are shining. Kobe quickly persuaded him at this time, "Mr. Luffy. Mr. Shuking. It's too messy to find that kind of person as a partner. I haven't decided yet, but if he's a good guy, I'll take him as a companion," Luffy explained. "It's because they're bad people who get caught," Kobe also complained. Luffy took out a fruit and gave the merchant a Bailey, then asked, "Is that guy named Zoro at the base?" As soon as these words came out, everyone was afraid to avoid it. "It seems that Zoro's name cannot be mentioned," Shuking said. "Anyway, let's go to the base first. Kobe, do you want to be Marine?" Luffy asked. "Yeah, but I'm not ready yet." Kobe seemed uncertain. "I heard that there is a colonel named Monka here." After Kobe mentioned Monka, the people around were once again afraid to avoid it. When Luffy saw this, he laughed and said, "The whole town is really interesting." Kobe said with some fear, "It's too strange, Zoro will not mention it for the time being. Why is Colonel Monka mentioned? Everyone is afraid. Even I am starting to feel uneasy. Did he do something bad?" Luffy guessed. "How is that possible?" Kobe and Luffy discussed as they walked. At this moment, Shuking didn't say much, because at this time he heard Colonel Monka and already knew where he was. Then, a systematic voice made Shuking very excited again. "Congratulations, host. Congratulations on your successful sign-in at Shell's Town and Marine 153 branch. Sign-in rewards have been prepared for you. Ding ding ding. Congratulations on getting the Zanpakuto from the world of Reaper. This is your own Zanpakuto. In this world, the quality of Zanpakuto is the top level and supremely fast sword. But you need to figure out the name of your Zanpakuto yourself." After the system's voice, Shuking had a knife on his waist. This knife seemed to be longer than a normal samurai sword. The blade is slightly longer than the one in the pirate world, and the hilt and scabbard have very exquisite patterns, which look quite artistic. Although Shuking was walking, and I couldn't help but feel curious and excited. The knife is very dazzling under the sunlight. It's very sharp. However, I don't seem to know the name of this sword. Only by knowing the name of the sword can you use the Shikai's ability that is only available in the world of death. If you want to learn Bankai, you must first be a Zanpakuto, the embodiment of the ontology and the yielding state. In this way, the strength will really improve. Shuking knew that he couldn't rely too much on his devil fruit. In the battle of the pirate world, the strength of the fruit is only one aspect. Swordsmanship, hockey, etc. are all elements that determine victory. 1. However, it has not yet entered the Great Waterway. In fact, these are too far for Shuking. 3 have come to the entrance of Marine Base. It's finally here. We are going to part, Mr. Luffy and Mr. Shuking. Although it was a short time, Kobe was already crying. Luffy climbed the wall and looked for Zoro. "Where are the monsters?" Unexpectedly, Luffy actually found Zoro in this open space. The person in front of him had a black turban and a green belt, and Shuking also confirmed that it was Zoro. "As long as you untie that rope, you can easily let him go," Luffy asked Kobe with a smile. Kobe naturally stopped quickly. "If you let that kind of person go, I don't know what will happen, and you will definitely be killed." "Don't worry, Shuking and I are both strong," Luffy said confidently, not taking Kobe's words seriously at all. "This person is no longer saved." Kobe was very speechless. He looked at Shuking and found that he had no intention of persuading Luffy at all. Kobe's heart was already full of despair. "Hey, you three, it's very annoying, disappear quickly," Zoro said suddenly badly. "Ah, Mr. Luffy, if you want to find that kind of guy to be your classmate, even a few lives won't be enough." Kobe was trying to persuade Luffy when a ladder suddenly appeared on the wall beside him. A little girl climbed up and came to Zoro with the rice ball. The girl showed off the rice ball. Although this is the first time, I made it very carefully. However, Zoro always refused. At this time, a yellow-haired ruffian walked in, and next to him was a sailor in marine uniform. I didn't expect you to be in such a good spirit, Roronoa Zoro. The yellow-haired ruffian said. Great. It must be Marine, S. That way the child is safe. Kobe felt relieved. However, immediately after, the blonde man ate one of the rice balls, which was unpalatable, and then threw the other rice ball on the ground and stepped on it. Didn't you see this notice? Those who help criminals will also be sentenced to death. This is Colonel Marine Monka's order. Even a kid should know how scary my father is, right? Hey, throw this kid out, the blonde boy ordered. But, this Marine is not too enthusiastic to do so. After all, she is still a child. I said throw her out. Didn't you hear my order? Be careful, I'm going to complain to Dad. Marine had no choice but to throw the girl out under the repeated demands and threats of the blonde boy. The weak little girl was thrown out, and naturally there would be no good results. Seeing this, Luffy immediately shot and hugged the little girl tightly. When Shu King saw Luffy's shot, he naturally saved his energy and turned his attention to the open space again. This yellow-haired guy is really annoying, Shu King thought. Chapter 8_Recruit Zoro. Ask for a silver ticket. After Luffy put the child down, he came to the open space and started to communicate with Zoro. At this time, the blonde man had also left. I heard you're a bad guy, Luffy said. Oh, so you're still here, Zoro replied, looking at Luffy. Are you really strong being tied up here for the public? Luffy asked. Don't mind your own business. Zoro's words didn't sound like Luffy. At this time, Shu King also jumped over the wall and quickly came to Zoro. Huh, didn't you leave, kid? Zoro looked at Shu King and said, but soon Zoro saw the sword on Shu King's waist. Attention. Are you a swordsman? This knife is. I can't name it, but it feels like a pretty good knife. Zoro stared at the knife on Shu King's waist, but he didn't recognize it for a long time. Huh, when did you have a knife? Why didn't I know? Luffy also asked, very puzzled. He had been with Shu King for so many days, and he had never seen Shu King wearing a knife. I just bought this, Shu King said. Although I don't know the name of this knife is definitely one of the best knives in the world. I think you should be able to tell Zoro. Shu King deliberately seduced Zoro. Zoro watched for a long time, then asked, you are also a swordsman. Why don't you accept the challenge? I will fight with you. If you win, why don't you give me this sword? Shu King saw this. Haha, Isho said, I don't think I need to fight a dead man, right? Death. I won't die so easily, my perseverance is not the same as others. Zoro said very insistently. They won't let you hold on for that long. They will definitely kill you in the middle. This is what the Monka gang did, Shu King said. However, Kobe had also come in and said, it's unlikely, right? After all, this is a just marine. Huh, Shu King just smiled but didn't speak. By the way, can you take that down for me? Zoro then looked at the food that had been trampled on the ground. Do you want to eat it's all sand? Luffy asked. Shut up and let me eat. Zoro opened his mouth, and Luffy put the rice ball into Zoro's mouth. Zoro chewed with relish. It's delicious, I'm full. Zoro was satisfied. Seeing this, Shu King said, Roronoa Zoro, if that blonde boy executes you tomorrow, this should be considered a broken agreement between the two of you. So are you willing to die? Or do you want to give it a shot with us? Zoro was silent, seemed to be thinking, and seemed to have no idea how to answer Shu King. Luffy looked at Shu King and asked, is that blonde boy really so unbeatable? If that's the case, I want to beat him. Don't. He's Colonel Monka's son. Kobe was still trying to persuade him, but he had no idea that Marine's taste had already changed. Seeing this, Shu King finally said, really, don't you still believe in that guy naively? Kuina seems to have seen the wrong person. Are you unwilling to abide by the agreement between you now? What? Zoro's eyes were full of disbelief. After Shu Kang said the name of the person he cared about, he was naturally attracted by Shu Kang. How did you know that person's name? What exactly do you know? Zoro asked anxiously, and at the same time shocked. I know what has nothing to do with you, right? However, if you die senselessly, then we will have one less partner. Shu Kang then looked at Luffy. Partner, right? Luffy also walked up to him and said, since Shu Kang said you are a good person, then you are definitely a good person. I'll help you untie the rope and be our partner. Luffy invited. What did you say? Zoro didn't seem to understand what Luffy meant. I'm looking for a pirate companion, Luffy said. I refuse. Do you want me to take the initiative to be a villain? Don't waste your time. Zoro immediately refused. Pirates are crooked, who wants to be? Zoro refused again. What's the matter? You were originally called an evil bounty hunter. No matter what others think of me, I have never done anything that I regret, and I will live on and accomplish what I want to do no matter what. Zoro said with great yearning. Shu Kang said, as a swordsman, what you want to do is to defeat the eagle-eyed man, right? This is the agreement between you. You have followed the present promise, but you have broken the promise of your life and your best friend, so are you satisfied? This time Zoro was not calm, and immediately responded, who the hell are you? Why do you know so many things? It's like you can see through my heart. It's not that I can see through your heart, but I have a general understanding of your past. I know you won't sit still, and I believe you can make the best choice. Shu Kang showed a look of trust, and Zoro was silent. Language. That's right, it seems that you are not an ordinary person either. Zoro looked at Shu Kang meaningfully and said. Luffy also nodded and decided on his own, I have made up my mind to have you as my partner. We'll help you get the sword back. You must be our companion. Luffy and Shu Kang said in unison. Let me think about it. Zoro fell silent after speaking, as if thinking about his past. But Shu Kang and Luffy were not idle, they both rushed towards the marine base. Luffy flew directly to the marine base's tower and damaged Colonel Monka's sculpture. Then, Colonel Monka frantically ordered his men to grab Luffy. As soon as Shu Kang flew up, he saw this scene. Luffy, this guy, really, surprising. However, Shu Kang's reaction was very quick. He grabbed Luffy and the blonde Bellomed at the fastest speed, and asked the blonde to guide the way, leading them to find Zoro's sword. Soon, Zoro's sword has been found. There are 3 swords. Which one is Zoro's? Luffy asked, who knew Belumed had fainted. All 3, he is a 3 swordsman, take it. Shu Kang said. If you guessed correctly, Kobe has already untied Zoro's rope, and Monka is now ready to kill them. We should be faster. Shu Kang guessed based on the plot. What? Luffy looked through the window and saw that Marine had aimed a gun at Zoro and Kobe. Not good. In a hurry, Luffy rushed out of the window using the elasticity of the rubber, and at the same time stood in front of Zoro and Kobe. Since it's rubber, it can bounce all bullets, and Luffy's presence directly protects Zoro and Kobe. It's useless. Luffy said happily. Who the hell are you? Zoro was also surprised, and he didn't expect Luffy to be so amazing. I'm Monkey D. Luffy, the man who aspires to be One Piece King of Pirates. Luffy gave a thumbs up. Immediately afterwards, Shu Kang also flew over quickly from the window. And I am the escort to become One Piece King of Pirates, Shu Kang. Shu Kang threw the 3 knives to Zoro. What? One Piece King of Pirates? Is this serious? Do you guys know what this sentence means? Zoro couldn't believe it. After all, these words were said by a teenager about his own age. Mr. Luffy is serious, he is this kind of person, he became One Piece King of Pirates, and got the most ultimate treasure in the world, that One Piece. Kobe also recognized. Forget it. Rather than be killed here, Might as well be your comrade. Zoro finally said. Great. Are you willing to be our partner? Very good. Great. Luffy was very excited, and now his Straw Hat Pirates have a Zoro besides Shukang. Idiot. Untie the rope when you understand. Zoro urged. Chapter 9 Colonel Monka ______. And Marine is still in a state of extreme shock. What's the matter with that guy? It actually bounced the bullet back. Colonel Monka was still a bit knowledgeable. He was first taken aback by Vivi, and then said, that Straw Hat Boy is not an ordinary person, he must have eaten the famous devil fruit. Devil fruit. The secret treasure of the sea. It is said that the person who eats it will be able to obtain the ability beyond imagination, the ability to breathe fire, the ability to cause tsunamis. I have heard a lot of legends. Because of the variety, the specific situation is not very clear. I heard its secrets slumber on the Great Channel. What that Straw Hat Boy showed is undoubtedly the ability of the devil, and the guy with the wings just now must also be the one who ate the devil fruit. Colonel Monka also said seriously. But no matter who the opponent is, as long as they oppose me, they will definitely die. If the gun doesn't work, hack them to death. Colonel Monka's order. The Marines took up the knife and charged aggressively. Luffy Shukang Zoro et al. At the last crucial moment, Shukang cut Zoro's rope. And at such a critical moment, Zoro picked up his 3 knives, accurately and quickly in the crowd, blocking everyone's attacks. Marine was surprised that one person blocked the attacks of so many people. This guy, so strong. Marines stopped their attacks one after another. Bastard. What a daze. Hurry up and get rid of them. Colonel Monka shouted. Crouch down Zoro, Luffy said suddenly. Rubber whip. Luffy directly used and swept his legs, and the Marines in the first team were kicked away by Luffy in an instant. And when Shukang kicked Luffy, he made his body natural and directly immune to Luffy's attack. Win. It's amazing. Kobe was also very excited when he saw this. Who are you? Zoro looked at Luffy and asked in surprise. I'm the rubber man who ate the rubber fruit, Luffy said. I am a devil who ate a devil fruit, Shukang said lightly. Now everyone understands why the two are so powerful. It turns out that they are both devil fruit powers. Deal with this guy as quickly as possible, otherwise our trip will be delayed. Shukang then rushed towards the axeman Menka at a very fast speed, and punched the huge axe in Menka's right hand. Superior. Just listening to the sound of boom. The axe in Menka's hand actually had a huge crack. How is this possible? I'm Colonel Marine. Axe Monka. Monka then swung his giant axe. It looks like a powerful slash, but it lacks flexibility. Shukang's attack was extremely powerful, and in just one breath, the axeman Menka had already consumed a lot of physical strength. My god. Colonel Monka was beaten unilaterally. Monka was almost killed. At this time, Belland grabbed Kobe with a pistol. He said to Kobe's head, stop. If you don't stop, I will shoot. With Luffy and Zoro around, Shukang didn't care about Kobe at all. Colonel Monka, you should also fall. Shukang then embodied the demon behind him, and the demon behind him became more and more like an entity. Then Shukang shot out with a palm. Axe Monka also raised his axe and wanted to smash it down. In the end, just here, boom. Monka's hand axe was so shattered, and his last thought awake was, impossible. Impossible. Immediately afterwards, he was directly knocked out and passed out. As for the other Marines, they didn't dare to resist. After all, there was no way to deal with Zoro alone, let alone Luffy and Shukang. Thank you Shukang. Thank you Zoro. Luffy thanked. Small mind, Captain. Zoro Vivi Isho. Do I need more? I'm also the captain. Shukang looked at Luffy, and the two looked at Isho. If anyone still wants to arrest us, report it. Zoro said, looking at Marine around him. Unexpectedly, as soon as his voice fell, all the Marines dropped their guns and knives in excitement. That's great. Finally don't have to be dominated by Monka. Long live Marine. Amazing. It turned out that Marine was also tortured by Colonel Monka, but now everyone has a feeling of relief. I'm hungry. After Zoro finished speaking, he collapsed to the ground. This guy. Haha. Next, Shukang, Luffy and Kobe took Zoro to find the little girl. The little girl's mother cooked a big meal, thanking Zoro on the one hand, and celebrating the downfall of Colonel Monka on the other. After everyone finished eating, Zoro chatted, "So how many companions have you gathered now? I remember you said you were gathering companions. Since you declared to be One Piece, King of Pirates, you must have gathered quite a few companions." Zoro asked innocently. "No, except for Shukang, it's just you," Luffy said directly. "Ah, can 3 people become a pirate group?" Zoro asked in shock. "What does that matter? We're that strong," Luffy said. Shukang also echoed. "We only recruit real companions, people with dreams, goals, and special skills. If it's not enough, at least drink and eat meat. Let's be happy together." "That's right," Luffy nodded and said, "This guy, called Shukang, is our captain, and I am also the captain. However, he is very strong. By the way, what's the matter with your knife?" Zoro Team Shukang's knife was very interested. "Since it's a companion, let's you take a look, right?" Shukang gave Zoro the knife very aggressively. Zoro watched it carefully and finally pulled it out, but he still couldn't see what the knife was. "The quality is very good, but I really haven't seen it. This knife, could it be the legendary Supreme Sword?" Zoro asked. "No, but the quality is not inferior to the Supreme Sword. Actually, the important thing is not the sword, but the person who wields the sword." Shukang suddenly remembered a very classic line and said it. "Well, you must have a chance to learn from each other." Zoro then asked, "Where's our ship?" "There," Shukang pointed. Zoro was relieved after seeing the decent boat outside the window. Everyone chatted for a while, and finally Marine entered here. "Although you have dealt with the violent Colonel Monka, but knowing that you are pirates, please leave quickly." Marine finally planned to drive away the crowd. However, Kobe was finally beaten by Luffy, and Marine thought they were not a group. In this way, the 3 returned to the ship and left Shell's town. Before leaving, Kobe thanked Luffy and Shukang for everything they had done for them, but the ship had already drifted away in the direction of the sea. The difference from the original book is that because of Shukang, the ship is at least on the correct course. This time, the sailing on East Blue was still calm. However, I don't know if it was a coincidence that there was no food on the ship again. This day, Luffy planned to eat the bird in the sky, but the final result was that Luffy was taken away by the bird. Shukang quickly adjusted the boat's speed to the maximum, trying to catch up with Luffy. However, at this time, above the sea, there was a call for help from the drowning person. "What is that?" Zoro saw the drowning man in the sea. "I don't have time to save you now, come up by yourself." In the end, those who fell into the water had to climb up on the boat in embarrassment. As soon as they got on the boat, these guys were ready to grab the boat, and they were naturally taught by Zoro to be human. Chapter 10_Battle Buggy. Ask for a silver ticket. Although Shukang desperately chased, but one was in the sea and the other was flying in the sky, it was naturally difficult to catch up no matter how hard he tried. However, seeing the 2 drowning people who were taught by Zoro to be human, Shukang naturally saw the Buggy clown logo on them, so he couldn't help asking. "Your boss should be the clown Buggy. Is it or not?" Yes, the 2 clown Buggy's men said nervously. "If my guess is correct, the treasure on your ship should have been stolen by a woman with orange hair, right?" Shukang asked, looking into the eyes of the 2 of them. The 2 of them looked at each other and said immediately, "That's right." "How did you know?" "It was the thief who stole our treasure and our ship, and as a result, we met the storm again by accident. And then the ship sank. We've been soaking in the sea for a while." Buggy's subordinates said something very miserable, but it didn't make Shukang feel their pity. "Okay, just tell me where the clown Buggy is, and I'll spare your life." Shu-King said very generously. Ah, didn't you go to Luffy? Zoro was also a little confused about the situation. The place where Buggy is the only island nearby, and Luffy is most likely there. Shu-King explained, and Zoro understood instantly. Not bad. You two, come and show the way. Zoro was very rude to the two of them, and the two were so frightened that they hurried to show the way. After a while, under the guidance of two Buggy's men, the two finally arrived in this town. Shu-King glanced at it and said, "Let's go, let these two guys lead the way and find Buggy." The leadership of two Buggy's subordinates, Shu-King and Zoro naturally came to Buggy's base camp effortlessly. Zoro and Shu-King saw the crisis of the situation at a glance, and at this moment, a cannon was aiming at Luffy. A woman with orange hair was extinguishing the lead with her hands, and the three pirates jumped directly into the air, and then slashed at the woman in unison. Zoro shot in an instant, and just using the scabbard, he had already knocked the three pirates to the ground. At this time, Shu-King had also come to Luffy's side. Luffy shouted in surprise, "Zoro! Shu-King! And that orange-haired girl is naturally called the little thief cat, Nami. Hey, aren't you hurt? What's the matter with you? Thought you were carried away by a bird and ended up in a cage." Zoro hadn't figured out the situation for a while. All in all, now our enemy should be the clown Buggy, right? Shu-King asked. But at this time, not many people in the group of Buggy pirates noticed Shu-King, but stared at Zoro in shock. After all, Zoro is already well known in East Blue, and is called the monster among bounty hunters. And Shu-King was just a kid who just went to sea. Is this Zoro the companion he's talking about? And this black-haired boy? Nami said in surprise. At this point Buggy spoke. "What are you doing? Could it be that you took my head?" "No, I'm not interested, I've quit working as a pirate hunter," Zoro said lightly. "But I am very interested in you. As long as I kill you, I will be famous all over the world," Clown Buggy said very arrogantly. "Farewell, you will die," Zoro said very forcefully. "Really?" Clown Buggy responded, the knife in his hand had already started to turn. "Don't you understand?" Zoro sighed, feeling very anxious. At this time, Buggy was also ready to fight Zoro. But seeing Zoro's impatience, Shu-King naturally stood up. "Zoro, go and save Luffy first. This guy is a devil fruit person, I'll deal with it." Shu-King took a step forward in a very low-key manner, his eyes fixed on the clown Buggy. "Who are you? Are you also cooperating with me, Lord Buggy?" Buggy seemed to despise Shu-King very much. Shu-King responded, "You can't even beat me, a nobody, let alone deal with Zoro." Big red nose. Shu-King's last sentence can be said to be a nirvana. After the clown Buggy heard it, his whole body completely exploded, and he couldn't bear it any longer. The clown Buggy burst out immediately, "Asshole! You bastard said that I'm going to kill you." Buggy rushed over very simply. Shu-King also pulled out his Zanpakuto for the first time. As soon as such a sharp weapon was pulled out, it instantly slashed Buggy's body into pieces. However, at this time, the cries of all the pirates did not stop. "Isn't it? Is this guy too vulnerable?" Zoro also felt a little weird. "It's so weak." Luffy was also confused. The captains were killed, but they were still laughing. "What is this?" Nami couldn't understand. However, Shu-King naturally knew about Buggy's fruit ability, but he kept a low profile and didn't say it. At this moment, Buggy's hand suddenly attacked from behind. "It's now." Shu-King's back instantly stretched out a pair of huge demon wings. "What?" Clown Buggy was taken aback. "What is this?" Nami, who had never seen Shu-King's ability, was also completely shocked. The pair of huge demon wings completely covered Shu-King's back, and the clown Buggy's flying knife couldn't pierce it at all. And the laughter of the pirates watching the play stopped abruptly at this time, and they couldn't accept the scene in front of them at all. This guy ate the torn fruit, split people. However, I'm also a devil who ate a devil fruit. Let's see who has the better fruit ability between us. After Shu Kang's words fell, a pair of wings flicked outwards heavily. Even though Buggy wanted to control his split body, he was knocked off by Shu Kang's wings because of the strength. Those pirates were stunned. Their powerful Lord Buggy was knocked away by another mysterious young man with fruit ability. Captain Buggy, are you all right? Master Buggy, all the pirates said with concern. It's amazing. I didn't expect this black-haired boy to be so powerful. Nami also said in surprise. It's abominable. The clown Buggy wasn't seriously injured, so he got up and scolded. None of you want to escape today. That's not up to you. Shu Kang appeared in front of Buggy in the next instant. Before Buggy could react, Shu Kang had already kicked Buggy. And when Buggy planned to use fragmentation to fight against Shu Kang directly used his naturalization ability. Paramesha vs. Logia. In the early days of Pirate World, the results were almost the same. In other words, Buggy could only be beaten passively, while Shu Kang was unscathed. While Shu Kang was fighting Buggy, Zoro looked at Nami and asked, Luffy, who is that guy? It's our navigator, Luffy said with a smile, looking at Nami as if he was looking at his companion. Chapter 11 Shu Kang, S-Knife __. Luffy, get ready, Zoro reminded, and then pushed Luffy's cage down from the roof. At this time, the clown Buggy finally recovered and said cursingly, these four guys dare to underestimate me. They must have come to declare war on me. Immediately afterwards, reinforcements appeared on Buggy's side, and a figure and a beast appeared at the same time. Are you here, Moji? Buggy said, looking at the figure and beast. This person is naturally Buggy's cadre, the animal trainer. Trainer Moji was naturally very interested in Zoro, a well-known bounty hunter, so he said, let me fetch Roronoa Zoro's head. Okay, leave this guy to me. Buggy the clown naturally regarded Shu Kang as his opponent. I really can't believe that you are a devil fruit person, but I have never heard of the devil fruit in this world. The clown Buggy also shook his head. Boy, anyway, you have to explain it to me today. The clown Buggy is very taboo to be told about his big red nose, but Shu Kang just planned to anger Buggy. Fractured. The clown Buggy used the power of his devil fruit at one time, and his body was divided into hands, feet and a head, which looked very weird. Holding a flying knife in his hand, he quickly rushed towards Shu Kang. But Shu Kang saw this, but his heart was still calm. Although they are also devil fruit power users, there are too many differences between the fruits. Buggy's paramesha is torn apart and can only be regarded as quite satisfactory, with weaknesses and strengths. However, Shu Kang's fruit is the legendary Super Devil Fruit. This level of fruit can be said to be a fruit that combines the advantages of Logia, Paramesha, and Zone. Therefore, when Shu Kang faced Buggy, it was just a naturalization, and he easily avoided Buggy's attack. Afterwards, Shu Kang directly used his demonic hand to hold several parts of Buggy's body firmly in his hand. Although Buggy can be torn apart, he can't let the body that has been divided be divided again. In other words, the main advantage of Buggy's fragmentation is agility, but Shu Kang directly pinched Buggy's body firmly, which is equivalent to completely imprisoning Buggy's body. Then Buggy was left with a head, which was almost useless. A fruit torn apart. Maybe a fruit with great potential, but you can't beat me just now. After Shu Kang's words fell, he found a rope and quickly pulled all parts of Buggy's body tied separately. Immediately afterwards, Shu Kang stretched out his slender arm again. No, Buggy seemed to know Shu Kang's plan. Shu Kang slowly walked in front of the cannon, and then used brute force to force Buggy's body into the cannon. Finally, Shu Kang ignited the lead. Thorn. Dong. Buggy's body disappeared completely in this orange town. Ah! The other people looked at Shu Kang again, and they no longer had the contempt they had before. They were terrified. Buggy, the captain of the Buggy Pirates, who was a devil fruit person, was easily defeated by the people in front of them. Shu Kang's subordinates, let alone them. Therefore, they immediately fell down and scattered, and quickly dispersed. Shu Kang shook his head and said, having such a powerful devil fruit, in East Blue, it is really invincible, but I don't know what potential my fruit will have in the future. Can I deal with those masters who have Hawkeye? Just when Shu Kang was about to jump off the tower and look for Luffy, Zoro and others, a voice pulled Shu Kang to the other side again. Ding ding ding. Congratulations to the host. Arrived in Orange Town. Congratulations on your successful sign-in. The system presents it to you, the bloodline of the Naruto world, Indra's bloodline. The first thing you awakened is Sharingan. Of course, there is only one Goose Jade for the Sharingan given to you by the system. If you accumulate more check-in locations, you can automatically upgrade the ability of Sharingan. Single Guyu writing round eyes. Shu Kang thought back. In the Naruto world, Sharingan can be said to be a very famous bloodline limit. If it continues to evolve, it will not only have the power of a kaleidoscope, but also the ability of Rinnegan. After knowing the power of Sharingan, Shu Kang was naturally very satisfied. East Blue and the first half of the Great Channel were enough to upgrade Sharingan. After all, there were no strong opponents here. Should I be able to open my eyes now? Shaking round eyes. Open. Shu Kang then felt a little itchy in his eyes. After looking for a mirror everywhere, he really saw his scarlet eyes in the mirror. One of them was single hook jade. However, Shu Kang was not so comfortable. He could feel a magical force flowing from his body. And this power seems to be different from the power that uses the fruit ability in the pirate world. So that, it seems that there is no such thing as a pie in the world, everything is good or bad, although the single hook jade writing wheel I can benefit my battle, it will cost my chakra. But, my chakra doesn't seem to be much. It seems that I must try to condense and refine chakra in the future, otherwise I won't be able to use any special ninjutsu that the system will reward in the future. After closing the Sharingan, Shu Kang jumped down directly from his tower, and when he reached the ground, he already knew what had just happened. Due to Shu Kang's intervention, Zoro was not attacked by the clown Buggy, so he was not injured. Zoro is now fighting with the trainer Moji and his big lion. Oh, did you kill that guy named Buggy? Zoro was fighting, and the person talking was 11, Luffy, who was harmless. It's done. Speaking of Luffy, why haven't you come out yet? Shu Kang said with great puzzlement. No, right after coming down, these guys appeared, and Zoro naturally fought with them. Luffy pointed to Zoro. At this time, Zoro happened to be beaten beside Luffy's cage. After noticing Shu Kang, he said, leave these two guys to me, Shu Kang, find a way to release Luffy. Shu Kang patted his head speechlessly and said, okay, don't take it too long, or I will despise you. Luffy then looked at Shu Kang and said, this cage is very hard, can it be broken? Try it, after all, my attacks have always been punches and kicks. This time, let's try my knife. Shu Kang's eyes narrowed, and he gently spread the knife around his waist, then quickly the speed pulled it out. Kang lang. That was the sound of drawing a knife out of its scabbard. Just listening to the sound knew that this knife was definitely not ordinary. And Shu Kang finally swung the knife out, and the extremely sharp blade actually cut open the outermost railing of the cage like cutting tofu. Bow your head. Shu Kang's reminder seemed to be too late. After all, the knife had already been swung out. At this critical moment, Luffy grabbed the railing above with both hands, and immediately jumped up using his own elasticity. Chapter 12 _ arrive at West Rob. Ask for a silver ticket. It's really exciting, haha. Luffy said with a harmless smile. It scared me to death, I thought. The finale was coming. Shu Kang was also very frightened, and the knife just now nearly killed Luffy. Who would have thought that his Zanpakuto would be so sharp? Okay, now that I've come out, this guy will be handed over to me. Luffy was full of fighting spirit at this time, and naturally planned to join forces with Zoro to fight against animal trainer Moji and his lion Richie. As soon as Luffy rushed out, a girl with orange hair suddenly appeared behind Shukang. I said that. Your name is Shukang. The person who spoke was naturally Nami with orange hair, and he was a little embarrassed at this moment. After all, Nami did it all. Yeah, I'm Shukang, is there anything? Nami. Shukang turned around and asked. Ah, Nami was a little surprised, and immediately asked back, how do you know my name? I don't seem to have introduced myself, right? Well, Buggy said. Shukang replied. So, by the way, what happened to Buggy? Nami asked. Buggy has already been knocked out by me. It's no problem to kill him for a pirate of this level. Shukang said lightly, then took 2 steps towards Nami, stared at her and asked, I think you really are, is that what you care about? Shukang took out a blueprint, and that blueprint was a chart of the Great Channel. The original chart should have been in Buggy's hands, but it seems that Nami took it away, but it seems that Buggy took it away in the end. After Buggy was killed, this map was naturally returned to Shukang's hands. Well, Nami nodded, and she pretended to be very cute and said, Little brother, can you give me the chart of the Great Waterway? I especially need this thing. Seeing this, Shukang naturally pretended to be surprised and asked, You? Why do you need this chart? Didn't you say the one called Luffy? I'm our navigator. In this case, I naturally need this chart the most. Nami said half-truth. Shukang did not expose it, but nodded and said, so that's the case, if it's his own, then it doesn't matter. Shukang easily handed the chart to Nami, but the words he said made Nami tremble. I said Nami, when you go to Arlong next time, tell me, and I'll help you clean him up by the way. The weather conditions on the Great Passage are so bad that this chart is actually useless. Nami's vigilance was naturally dashing, and he immediately picked up a stick that he carried with him and made a defensive posture. You, what do you know? Nami asked again, but she involuntarily stepped back her legs and changed the angle, trying to make Shukang ignore the logo of the Arlong Pirates on her shoulder. Me, just pretend that I don't know anything. The captain is Luffy. He has the final say on where to go, but I think he should also help you. Shukang then walked towards Luffy on his own, leaving Nami stunned. At this time, Luffy and Zoro had already called the door of a pet store. The little white dog at the door of the pet store was the owner of the original pet store, but one day the owner died, but the little white dog still looked at the store faithfully. The big lion Richie's intrusion was blocked by the puppy, but the puppy was a man's arm and was easily knocked away. And, Luffy helped the puppy fend off the trainer and the lion. But at this time, there was an acrobat among the enemies, and it was obvious that this person was the remnant of the Buggy Pirates. These two are the leaders of the Buggy Pirates. Luffy and Zoro participated in the battle at the same time, and their strength was gradually soaring. The two quickly became familiar with the opponent's attack mode, and finally used their own advantages to defeat the opponent. The end result is obvious, Luffy beat the trainer and the lion. And Zoro beat the acrobat. Buggy, the big boss clown that was supposed to appear, Shukang had already beaten him away at this time. It can be said that Luffy, Zoro, and Shukang protected not only the pet shop and the little white dog, but also the entire Orange Town. In the end, the three returned to the port, lifted anchor and set sail, and left the town of Orange. Of course, this time they have one more person to accompany them on their journey, and that is Nami. Then we are partners. Luffy was very pleased with Nami's joining, and Zoro was very happy to see Luffy being bullied by Nami. However, only Shukang could feel that Nami and he were wary of each other. However, Shukang concealed this alert very well. At this moment, the four still believed in Nami's sailing skills and let her lead her to the next island. I don't know why, but during the voyage with Nami, there was hardly any bad weather. What's going on? Shukang couldn't help but ask, could it be luck? Nami shook her head and explained, the weather in a certain area is very bad, and I usually don't go to that area. In the sea, as long as you know your direction, you can avoid it. Of course, these techniques are only applicable to East Blue. Quote. Sure enough, having a good navigator is different. It's better than walking around with two headless flies. Zoro looked at Luffy and Shu King and said. You said we were headless flies. Shu King secretly despised Zoro. The whole One Piece King of Pirates, the most famous Liu Kai, at this moment has the face to say that others. It is said that when you are fighting with Zoro, as long as your back is a few meters, Zoro will not be able to find you. Although it is a bit nonsense, it also shows the attributes of Zoro's Luna. During the voyage, Luffy likes to eat and play, Nami is naturally in charge of sailing, Zoro sleeps and exercises when he is free, and Shu King shuts himself in the house alone and does not speak. I feel it. It is. At this time, in the cabin, a young man's body burst out with blue energy. This kind of energy is difficult to describe. People in this world can hardly sense it. It is a completely different kind of energy from this world. An energy, chakra. That's right, Shu King has been researching and condensing chakra in the cabin. Although this was more difficult for Shu King gradually found a feeling that he can now condense and refine chakra. This is a great improvement. Just as Shu King was preparing for the next step of exploration and training, the voices of Nami and the others came from the deck. Shu King walked out of the cabin and found that the ship had resisted a new island. The boat docked on the beach, and the four got off the boat. It's been a long time since I got off the boat. Luffy stretched his limbs. Will there be a small village here? Nami looked at the map and said, it seems there is. Luffy then drooled. Wow. Then, neat. There must be something delicious in that village, right? The food on the boat was naturally supplied before, and Luffy was already tired of it. Chapter 13 Kaya's Manor ________. Na widened Luffy's eyes and said, can you eat less meat? Ah. Zoro felt the ease and yawned. The surrounding beaches were quiet and comfortable, but Zoro immediately felt that something was wrong, and gently popped the knife in his hand. Be careful, there is someone's breath. Where? Luffy was completely unguarded. Shu King glanced left and right, and already knew who these people were. Danger! Zoro yelled, and then, countless stones bounced from a height to Luffy's feet, and Luffy started to dodge in a hurry. At this time, countless pirate flags were erected among the dense grass on the hill. Wow, that's amazing, Luffy said admiringly. Now is the time to admire others. Nami couldn't help but complained. At this moment, a man was already standing at the top of the hill, and said majestically, I am Usopp who led the great pirate group that ruled this village. People praised me very much and called me ours. Captain Usopp. If you want to attack this village, I advise you to give up. Because my 80 million subordinates will not let you go. The person who speaks is naturally the most boastful Usopp in One Piece, King of Pirates. Among the four, only Luffy shouted in shock, it's amazing. However, Nami immediately questioned, is it a lie? Seeing someone questioned, Usopp said directly, I was seen through. Immediately afterwards, the three little ghosts were also seen by Nami, and they fled. Seeing this, Shu King didn't want to waste any more time, so he took a step forward and said, Usopp, right. Don't be afraid, we are not your enemies. Do you think I would believe it? Usopp was still a little defensive. Your father's name is Usopp, right? Is he a subordinate of the red-haired Shanks? After Shu King said it, Usopp's defensiveness eased a lot. That's it, I just said he looks alike, that's how it is. Luffy said, I saw Usopp when I was a kid. After resolving the misunderstanding, Usopp naturally invited Luffy, Shu King and others to enter the village and have a feast. Shuang chatted for a while, and unconsciously they talked about the villa on the mountain. Well, I suddenly forgot one thing, I'll go do it first. Usopp then left in a hurry. Luffy, Shu King and others were left behind. What is this guy doing? In a panic, Nami also thinks he is very strange. Shu King then said directly, Luffy, what do you think of Usopp? Very good. I love it. Luffy nodded. You mean, inviting him to be our partner? Luffy asked. Yes, but before that, we have to do something. Shu King said mysteriously. What's the matter? Everyone was at a loss. Just follow me. Shu King then left here and walked straight up the mountain. Soon, everyone came to the door of the huge villa on the mountain. There are many guards in black at the entrance of the villa, and it is really difficult for ordinary people to enter without knowing it. However, Shu King, as a devil fruit capable person, directly stretched out his wings and loaded everyone into the garden. Is this your ability? Although Nami knew Shu King's power, she had never felt Shu King's power so close. Although it came in so smoothly, what are we going to do? Luffy asked. Yeah, Shu King, just say what you want to do. Zoro was also a little anxious. Shu King then told what he knew. That's right, there was once a pirate group called the Black Cat Pirates. Captain Kuro was a very smart and cruel pirate. In order to obtain greater wealth, he quietly sneaked into a wealthy family, eventually became a housekeeper, and quietly killed the master of the family, and now he is going to murder the young lady of this family. Captain Kuro, I seem to have an impression, but it's said to have been killed. Zoro was a bit knowledgeable. Back then, Kuro killed all the pirates who were chasing him, and in the end there was only one marine left. He stepped on the guy's jaw, and then used the power of his hypnotist to hypnotize him, making him mistakenly think that he was one with Captain Kuro. The person who looks a lot like it is Kuro himself. Quote. At the same time, it also turned it into a tyrannical marine. This marine was eventually upgraded to Colonel Marine. You should all know Luffy and Zoro. Shu King naturally broke his dream in one sentence. Could it be? Zoro said in disbelief. It's Monka. Yes. Shu King nodded. Then where is this Kuro you mentioned now? Luffy asked quickly. Could it be? Nami looked at the villa and seemed to have guessed it. Yes, Nami guessed it well. Captain Kuro's pseudonym Kuro Batel is currently the housekeeper of this house, and Usopp's favorite should be the young lady of this house. Shu King said. So, this lady is in danger. Shouldn't we save her right away? Luffy asked. Shu King shook his head and said, we are pirates, no one will believe what we say, unless. Only then did Shu King tell everyone his plan. But Luffy asked, is this really good? In case this person is not the pirate you mentioned, aren't we going too far? Shu King smiled, and then he suddenly attacked Luffy and Zoro. Although the two were unprepared, they naturally dodged and defended when they encountered an attack. Shu King then said, see, normal people don't have such good skills and reactions. We will soon know that what I said is true or false, so just do what I say. Only then did everyone suddenly realize that they nodded and agreed with Shu King's approach. At this time, in the back garden, Usopp told Kaya a story, which had been discovered by Kuro. Kuro was trying his best to challenge Usopp. After Usopp was finally humiliated, he planned to attack Kuro on a whim. And this is just right in Kuro's arms. And, Kuro drove Usopp away. At this time, Shu King suddenly appeared in front of Usopp and Kuro. Hello, Shu King. Why did you come here? Usopp was also very puzzled and surprised. He didn't know how Shu King found this place, nor what Shu King planned to do. With a gloomy face, Shu King slowly walked in front of Kuro. Who are you? What are you doing for breaking into a private residence without permission? Kuro pretended to say. The captain of the Black Cat Pirates, Kuro of 100 Clans, am I right? Shu King's words made Kuro's eyes tremble. I didn't understand what you said. Kuro still concealed his emotion very well, and he still showed the appearance of a housekeeper. Chapter 14 Counting out Kuro. Ask for a silver ticket. Pirate. You said the housekeeper is a pirate. Usopp was also surprised. Although he hated this housekeeper, he didn't know it. Impossible, Krobatel is a good person, how could he be a pirate? Miss Kaya naturally didn't believe it. How can someone as noble as me be a humble pirate? Pirates like you, do you want to use lies to smear me? No one will believe me. Kuro still pretended to use it. He put his palms on his glasses. I said, although he is a little too much, he shouldn't be a pirate, right? Usopp was also a little unbelievable. Shukang snorted coldly. Kuro, others don't know you, can I not know you? The reason why you hold your glasses like this is because of your long nails, right? Shukang then said, many years ago, you killed my parents, and I saw the way you were a killer, but because I hid so well that no one found me. Shukang was naturally talking nonsense. He just wanted to force him to reveal his faults in advance through his own understanding of Kuroda. Then, I heard that you were caught by a man named Monka, but that person was not you at all. Obviously, a hypnotist under your command hypnotized him. Front of Kuro, there was already a trace of panic in his heart. After all, this was a plan for many years. Except for the closest subordinates, no one else knew about it. But Crowan never thought that someone would find his guy. Seeing that his plans and conspiracies were about to be revealed, Kuro couldn't reveal the fact that he was a pirate, and the only thing he could do was to interrupt Shukang's speech. Bastard! Stop messing around. It's just a habit of mine to hold my glasses. What you said is nothing. I have never heard of it at all. If you don't leave, I will call the guard. Kuro once again suppressed the desire to kill Shukang in his heart. And this time Kaya spoke. Usopp, take your friends away. I won't allow you to smear Kurote Ball like this again. Shukang, let's go. Usopp naturally couldn't produce any evidence. Shukang's words for so long were just one-sided words, and they couldn't stand up at all. In the end, everyone had to leave the villa. However, just as he was about to leave, Shukang looked at Kuro and shouted loudly, Kuro! Tomorrow night, at the beach. Let's make an end, or I will announce your identity to everyone in the village and tell you about you. Plan. Kuro snorted coldly. I won't make any promises with the pirates, and the people in the village will not believe you, a pirate's nonsense. Then Shukang left with everyone. After leaving, only Usopp didn't figure out what happened, so he kept asking. If my guess is correct, your Miss Kaya is likely to be killed by Kurote Ball tonight. Shukang said with a firm oath. Ah, impossible. Why would he do this? Usopp couldn't figure it out, and neither could anyone else. If I'm Kuro and my identity is smashed by a stranger, I have to do something. Two options. The first one is to secretly kill this stranger, try to maintain the relationship with Miss Kaya, and then choose the right time to kill Kaya and embezzle all the property. Second, I think the time is ripe. I don't need to be dormant. Kill Kaya directly, and then kill this stranger to seal up. Inheriting the property is justifiable. Of course, in order to give Kuro time, I specifically told him to settle with him tomorrow. Therefore, I estimate that Miss Kaya will kill Kuro tonight. Shukang said very firmly. After hearing Shukang's words, Usopp naturally didn't believe it. Tonight, we will sneak into Kaya's bedroom ahead of time. When the time comes, we will naturally know how it turns out. Shukang said seriously. It was soon night, and Shukang used his devil fruit power to sneak into the villa very easily. With the help of Usopp, Shukang found Miss Kaya's bedroom. Miss Kaya's mood is naturally not very good. At this time she is crying. But it was a good time for everyone to sneak in. Everyone quietly got under Kaya's bed and in Kaya's wardrobe. Although Kaya almost found everyone due to her carelessness, she still managed to hide in the seats they had negotiated in advance. With the passage of time, Kaya has fallen asleep on the bed. At this point a person entered Kaya's room. The man's glasses shone with light, and the long blade on his hand was exceptionally sharp. Seeing Usopp here is also stunned. Shish! Shukang immediately made a booing action, signaling Usopp to keep quiet and worry. Kuro placed his blade above Kaya, not knowing what to expect, as if hesitating, and the blood on the blade had already proved who Kuro had killed. At this moment, a figure suddenly rushed out from the bottom of the bed and attacked Kuro. Kuro, as the top 5 pirates in the original East Blue Bounty, reacted extremely quickly, and he immediately pulled away and started to resist. However, the person who chopped him was not an ordinary person, but the swordsman Zoro. Everyone crawled out at this moment, and Usopp also woke Kaya up. When Kaya saw the blood on Kuro Battle's hand and saw him and Zoro fighting vigorously, he was naturally unbelievable. Look! The cunning Kuro smashed Zoro away with one claw, and then pretended to say, "Miss, these people are here to kill you." They also killed Mary. Mary is naturally another housekeeper who serves Kaya and the designer of the famous Going Merry. Kaya didn't know who to trust at this time. After all, she should trust the housekeeper the most, but the situation at this time made her very confused. Unexpectedly, Mary desperately crawled here from the position where he was attacked, and said desperately, "Miss. That's not the case. Clawhador. I was injured by that guy. He's a pirate." Kuro didn't want to hide anymore after Mary finished. "Really, you were about to succeed, but you were suddenly disrupted by your little characters. You really got lucky. You just happened to see this scene. But it doesn't matter, everyone here is going to die tonight." Kuro finally stopped covering himself. "Yes, I am the captain of the Black Cat Pirates, Kuro of 100 Plans. I'm by no means something that a small character like you can shake. Tomorrow morning, my pirate group will attack, and you have no hope at all." How could this be? Impossible. Miss Kaya's heart almost collapsed. At this time, Shu King couldn't help but laugh. Ha 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 ha. Everyone's attention was attracted by Shu King. "What are you laughing at? Didn't expect you to laugh before you died." Kuro is also a cold issue, very vicious. "Me, laugh at you being over your head," Shu King said. "I already knew about your plan. All this was arranged to make Miss Kaya recognize you. So what? Even if you recognize me, as long as I kill you, you won't know anything," Kuro said. Chapter 15 Kill the Kuro Pirates. Please. Stupid you, if you really discovered my identity long ago, you should have announced my plans and identity from the very beginning. And now, stupidity will kill you all. Kuro laughed coldly. Kuro was so confident that he never worried that he would lose. Shu King said without fear, "Stupid. I don't think so, but you might die here tonight." Ha, that's hilarious. Kuro looked ready to fight. "The result will be revealed immediately," Shu King said lightly. Wow, an angry shout broke the stalemate between the two. Surprisingly, it was not Shu King who shot, but Luffy. At this time, after Luffy knew about Kuro's conspiracy, his hatred for Kuro reached its greatest height. Kuro could feel the aura of Zoro and Shu King, but he lacked defense against Luffy. This time, Luffy's skills were displayed for the first time, and he stretched his arms instantly, which caught Kuro by surprise. "Quick, please, save Mary." Kaya's attention is now on Mary in her arms. Usopp and Nami are temporarily responsible for treating Mary and comforting Kaya. As for Zoro, Shu King, and Luffy, they came to the courtyard, and the three surrounded Kuro. Kuro looked at Luffy and said, "I see, is this the power you're relying on? Devil fruit power. As long as I can kill you, that's fine." Zoro naturally showed his swordsman's ability, the three-sword style. Shu King, on the other hand, had no posture, but made Kuro feel more dangerous. "If that's the case, then I'm welcome." Kuro didn't hide it. He closed his eyes directly, and the pace of his feet began to resemble a phantom. Silent step. "This is Kuro's Nirvana, the spoon," Shu King reminded. At the same time, Shu King shouted, "Writing round eyes, open." Immediately afterwards, Shanguyu's writing wheel opened. Although the single Guyu is not as powerful as other forms of writing wheel eyes, it also improves the observation ability. Shu King can probably figure out Kuro's attack trajectory. Coupled with Shu King's ability to obtain fruit, this allows him to fully cope with Kuro's attack. Although Kuro's move is very strong, it cannot control the target of the attack, so it is easy to hurt his own people. However, the current Luffy and Zoro were suppressed for a while. You guys don't even know what a real pirate is. I'll let you know how terrifying the pirates who go in and out of the gates of hell several times. Luffy and Zoro got more and more injuries, and Luffy finally couldn't take it anymore. You bastard. You don't understand pirates at all. A guy that even his comrades don't know to cherish. What qualifications does he have to make irresponsible remarks on me? Luffy shouted. Miss Kaya, it's just a tool, a stepping stone to my successful encroachment on her property, just part of the plan. I never regarded her as my own. Kuro's words completely disappointed Kaya's heart. And Luffy finally took advantage of the moment he was injured, grabbed Kuro and threw him heavily on the ground. Humph. Do you think this will hurt me? Seeing this, Captain Kuro used the spoon again. At this moment, Luffy suddenly burst out, using the properties of his own rubber fruit to wrap Kuro's body firmly. Damn, let me go, you bastard. Kuro was tightly locked by Luffy's upper body, naturally unable to use the spoon. Your 3-year plan is a complete failure now. Luffy was already preparing for the final blow. My plan. It will never fail, Kuro said frantically at the last moment. However, at this time Luffy said, rubber clock. He stretched his head far back and finally slammed into Kuro's head. Such a pounding, and Kuro was an instant result. Kuro fell to the ground, and there was no more sound. I'm Monkey D. Luffy. I will never lose to the pirate who gave up my name. Luffy said very haughty. Shu King originally wanted to take action, but seeing that Luffy was so excited, he naturally stepped aside with Zoro. Kuro was killed, things were not over. Shu King then returned to Kaya's room with everyone and informed everyone of the matter. I will do my best to explain things to the villagers, and we can unite together to fight against foreign enemies, Kaya said. However, Shu King, Zoro and the others shook their heads and said, forget it, just leave the rest to us. What about me? Luffy asked. You have already defeated Kuro, just leave the rest to us. Zoro also said with a scheming look. This time, I also want to protect everyone. Usopp and his 3 subordinates finally planned to participate in this battle. The next day, when the sky was still dark, everyone poured oil on the 2 slopes that landed on the island, with Shu King on one side and Zoro on one side. The Black Cat pirates first landed on Zoro's side, but they couldn't invade the island at all. However, they saw the boat of Shu King and others. A group of pirates directly destroyed Shu King and others' boat with cannons, and then went around. On the other side of the island, he bumped into Shu King again. Shu King flew directly down the slope and beat the pirates with no power to fight back. Kuro's subordinates are naturally the Cat Brothers and the hypnotist Django. The Cat People Brothers united. It seems to be powerful, but in front of Shu King, it is still not enough to see. With the single Guyu's writing wheel eye, Shu King regards the Cat People Brothers as a touchstone, and improves his swordsmanship one by one. At the back, Shu King couldn't bear it anymore. He directly activated the power of the Devil Fruit, severely injured all the pirates, and destroyed their pirate ship. The Black Cat pirates have now fallen apart and scattered. As for the hypnotist Django, Shu King directly slapped them away. Kuro of 100 plans, Syrup Village pirate invasion plan has been completely shattered. And by the time Zoro, panting, came to the other side, the battle was already over. Without you, the village would not be able to hold on. Usopp said gratefully. We wouldn't do anything if you didn't make up your mind. But those guys destroyed our ship. Zoro responded. It doesn't matter, I have already brought back everything in advance, and the treasures of those pirates. Nami sneaked into the enemy's boat while the enemy was fighting, and moved out all the financial reports. She was very proud at this time. Haha, Usopp has never been in such a good mood. Looking at the blue sky and white clouds, Usopp said, I took this opportunity to make a decision. As a man, you should run to the ocean. There is only one reason for me to leave this village. The pirate flag is calling me. I want to become a real pirate. Everyone looked at each other and finally laughed. Unexpectedly, Shu King had guessed the beginning and ending of the story. Usopp then bid farewell to the 3 small subordinates, entrusted his will to them, and finally invited everyone to the restaurant for a feast. At this time, Kaya found everyone and walked into the restaurant. Please allow me, thank you, I have prepared a gift for you, which is a little bit of my heart, please accept it. Kaya said kindly. Chapter 16 Going Merry ________. Immediately afterwards, Miss Kaya led everyone over. Not surprisingly, what appeared in front of everyone was a light sailboat. Going merry, Shu King inevitably felt a little excited in his heart. After all, the ship in front of him was the ship of the Straw Hats. Fortunately, the previous ship was destroyed by the Black Cat pirates. Otherwise, it is very likely that the Going Merry will be missed. Shu King thought to himself. When Luffy saw the ship in front of him, he was also very excited. Although he had been on a big ship before, for some reason, this ship seemed to have an indescribable relationship with everyone. Contact the same. Is it really possible? Give it to us. Luffy asked excitedly. The housekeeper of the Kaya family, Mary said, although the style is a bit old, this is a boat I designed. Thank you for your help, not only saving me, but also saving the eldest lady. The name of the boat is the Going Merry, and it's a light sailboat using the stern center rudder style of a jib. Let me explain the operation method, first of all in terms of power start adjustment. Mary explained the operation method of the whole ship carefully. Shu King listened to what he didn't understand, but Luffy couldn't hear it at all. However, Nami was the one who listened most seriously. After all, Nami was the only navigator in the Straw Hat group. Immediately afterwards, Usopp had already packed his huge luggage and rolled down from the high hillside. This guy is really worrying. Shu King then easily used the devil's arm to completely stop Usopp. Miss Kaya looked at Usopp and waved goodbye after all. Usopp originally planned to set off on his own and become an independent pirate, but everyone naturally invited Usopp. In everyone's heart, Usopp has long been regarded as their partner. Shu King still had a good impression of the person who liked to talk big in front of him. As a funny character, Usopp must not be missing in future adventures, otherwise it will be very boring. In the end, everyone finally set sail and sailed to the boundless sea together. And when Shu King left Syrup Village, he was once again prompted by his own system. Ding ding ding. Congratulations to the host. You have arrived at Syrup Village, and you have successfully left, and you have successfully signed in. Rewards have been issued for you. 100 times the Kendo Comprehension Card. You can use it at any time. Valid time, 24 hours. After Shu King heard what the system said, he immediately threw his own question. System, I haven't arrived at the destination before, you counted me as a successful sign-in, why do I have to leave now, so I can count as a successful sign-in? System immediately replied. Let me explain. At the beginning, the sign-in system was just activated, naturally it lowered the requirements for you. As you grow step by step, the requirements and difficulty of the sign-in system will gradually escalate, and you will gradually face greater pressure and challenges, so that you can get more generous rewards. Shu King nodded, then continued to ask, so, what is this Kendo Comprehension Card, can you explain it in detail? System immediately replied, this card is a consumable item. When you use it, it will improve your Kendo comprehension by 100 times. Of course, the duration is 24 hours, which means that within 24 hours, you will have an explosive improvement in this aspect of Kendo. The system recommends that you take a good rest in advance, and then devote yourself to the practice of Kendo for 24 consecutive hours. This is the most beneficial way for you. Shu King Vivi nodded and almost understood the meaning of the system. So, it seems that if anyone disturbs me, I will lose more than the gain. In this case, I need to prepare in advance. Adventure at sea, in fact, most of the time is boring sea voyage. There is nothing on the whole sea, and it is endless. It would take some days to reach the next island, so Shu King told his companions on the boat that he needed to retreat and practice. In this way, Shu King gained 24 hours of cultivation time. Shu King locked himself in the rest room of the cabin, and said, "System, I want to use it now, the Kindle comprehension card." "Are you sure to use it?" The system confirmed. "Confirmed to use." Shu King nodded, and then, a flash of light appeared in front of Shu King's body inexplicably, and the light immediately enveloped Shu King's body. At this time, Shu King only felt himself. His whole brain was very clear, and the sword in his hand seemed to be a little different. So that's the case. Is this the power of Kindle comprehension card? What is a sword? How to attack? How to defend? Countless problems began to evolve on their own in Shu King's brain, and countless battle scenarios also began to emerge in Shu King's brain. In addition to the most basic sword moves and skills, Shu King also had a deeper understanding of the Tao above the sword. Shu King closed his eyes, as if he was closing his eyes and resting, and time passed quickly like a white horse. Dong dong dong. Shu King woke up when there was a knock on the door outside. Looking at the weather outside, there was no change. However, after playing Gate of Opening, Shu King realized that it was 3 days ago that he started using the Kindle comprehension card. At this moment, a person Shu King did not know had arrived on the boat. "Big brother, why are you here?" Zoro said in surprise as he looked at him. "Huh, isn't Joseph with you?" Zoro also recognized the identity of the person in front of him at a glance. And Shu King quickly guessed his identity, Zoro's younger brother, Johnny. And the Joseph in Zoro's mouth, and the person in front of him are the same as Zoro's former younger brother. Soon, however, Luffy and Usopp knew they were in trouble, because they had just practiced firing a cannon and nearly accidentally wounded Joseph. Shu King looked at Joseph's livid face and Nami. And Nami naturally understood the situation. "Isn't there a lime on the boat? Hurry up and bring it," Nami commanded. Usopp and Luffy quickly found some limes and squeezed them into orange juice for Joseph to drink. "It's scurvy, it'll be fine in a few days," Nami said. "Wow, really?" Big sister's head. Zoro's younger brother Johnny's voice just fell. He didn't expect Joseph to be able to dance with him. But soon, he fainted on the boat again. After all, scurvy does not may heal so quickly. Immediately afterwards, everyone also fell into anxiety, sailing on the sea, in addition to facing the unknown on the navigation, as well as powerful enemies, and even pays special attention to diet. Instances of scurvy like this would be numerous if no one prepared a nutritionally balanced food for them. Shu King naturally guessed everyone's next plan. "Looks like there should be an extra cook on board." Chapter 17_C Restaurant Barate, for collection. For silver ticket. After Shu King's voice fell, Luffy and the others naturally nodded their approval. "That's right. In this way, you can eat delicious food in the sea," Usopp said excitedly. "That's right. We need to find a sea cook as a partner," Luffy also said to everyone. At this time, Zoro's younger brother Johnny said, "If you want to find this kind of chef, I know a place." That's it. Where is that?" Luffy also asked eagerly. "However, it is very close to the Great Waterway, and there are rumors of the eagle-eyed man the eldest brother has been looking for. The heading is north by northeast," Johnny said very seriously. "Hey," Shu King grinned Isho, he has seen everyone's enthusiasm. Going Merry then went full speed according to the direction Johnny pointed. It didn't take long to see a more magical-looking building on the sea. His full English name of Barate is written on the front of the boat. The bow is in the shape of a fish mouth, and the stern is in the shape of a fish tail. The whole restaurant is actually a brig, but the boat is still very big. "How is it, everyone?" Johnny has seen everyone's surprised expressions. "Wow, what a big fish," Luffy said excitedly. However, at this time, next to Mary, there was an extra ship. The sail was painted with marine, logo and name. It was a marine ship. Ah, how can there be a marine's ship here? Just as Joseph came out of the cabin, he saw the marine ship next to him and was startled. He didn't forget that the ship he was in was a pirate ship. Hey, isn't he going to attack us? Usopp also asked nervously. I met a nasty guy. Zoro also felt bad. His hand was already on his own knife, and he looked like he was ready to fight at any time. Shu-King said very calmly, "Don't worry, this guy doesn't seem to have any plans to do it. If he dares to do it, then I will let their ship sink in this sea forever." The people in the marine came out, looked at Going Merry, and said, "I'm Marine Lieutenant Iron Fist Hobody, who is the captain, sign up." "I'm Luffy." Luffy stood up. "I'm Usopp." Usopp also stood up. What the hell are these guys doing? Marine Lieutenant also finds it very interesting. The two guys over there. They seem to be bounty hunters who specialize in killing some weak pirates. Why, were they finally caught by the pirates? Marine Lieutenant didn't mean to do anything, but just spoke sarcastically. "Let's go." A good-looking woman pulled Marine Lieutenant, and Marine Lieutenant turned around and ignored the group of straw hats. However, Johnny and Joseph were so angry that they threw the pirate bounty they had sorted out and said, "Do you dare to say that this is the work of a bounty hunter who targets small people?" The bounty list was scattered on the deck, and a bounty named Arlong with a bounty of 20 million Bailey landed on the outermost side. The other people basically painted times, proving that these people were killed by the younger brother duo. And Nami naturally noticed this bounty. Nami squatted on the ground and looked at Arlong's bounty. She shivered and didn't know what she was thinking. Shu-King naturally noticed this, and he let go of the hand he wanted to put on Nami's shoulder. Shu-King didn't believe in the words of empathy. After all, he had never experienced the same pain as Nami. It was difficult for him to understand. He wanted to comfort Nami. The best way was to follow the pace of the original plot and beat Arlong. But at this time, everyone's attention was already on the Marine. Despised Marine Lieutenant has announced the order to sink the pirate ship. And the other party's shells have already flown towards Going Merry very fast. At this moment, Shu-King couldn't take care of so much anymore. In a blink of an eye, the demon wings were attached directly behind him. His speed was extremely fast, as if everything around him had slowed down. Shu-King snorted and pulled out his Zanpakuto, inexplicably feeling the connection between Zanpakuto and himself. Shu-King didn't stop, but swung the knife out directly. Immediately after a burst of sword energy, Shu-King cut him out. The green sword energy instantly split the entire cannonball into two. Not only that, but also cut the cannon on the marine ship into two pieces. If it weren't for the slight deviation from the angle, the entire marine ship would have been sunk by Shu-King's slash. I gotta go. Usopp's mouth widened, and he didn't know what to say. Luffy's eyes were also shining with stars, and he said very excitedly, "It's amazing." Zoro's eyes revealed a hint of shock. So strong to slash. This guy's swordsmanship seems to have grown outstandingly. How is it possible? Is it so strong after retreating for a day and a night? Then what is my practice? Shu-King put away the sword in his hand and looked at the marine soldiers on the other side's boat with cold eyes. Naturally, Marine Lieutenant didn't know anything about these things. At this time, he and the beautiful woman came to Barate by boat. And at Shu-King's suggestion, Luffy and the others directly attacked the marine ship next to them, destroyed all the cannons on the marine ship, and cleaned up all the marine people with ease, ensuring that they would never attack Mary. After that, Johnny and Joseph were left to watch the boat. Then everyone officially entered the sea restaurant by boat, Barate. As soon as he entered Barate, he saw a black man in black clothes smoking a cigarette, pinching the marine lieutenant he had just acquired, looking very relieved. "Don't waste food for me. Going against the cook at sea is tantamount to killing yourself. Remember it for me." The blonde man is naturally the chef of the future Straw Hat Pirates, Sanji. Marine Lieutenant was not at all angry, and promised to destroy the ship. Naturally, Sanji was angry again. However, Barate's other cooks rushed out and grabbed Sanji. Soon Chef Zeph appeared, not only beat Sanji, but also Marine Lieutenant. Marine Lieutenant couldn't understand, how could there be such a domineering restaurant in the world, attacking customers. However, the matter did not end there. A sailor ran to Barate and said, "Lieutenant, our ship was attacked by the pirate ship on the opposite side, and then the prisoners on board were released." What? Marine Lieutenant didn't get angry, but asked rather terrified, then, "Where is Click's subordinates?" "Escaped. In order to track down the whereabouts of Krieg's group, we sent 7 people, and we finally caught it." "Impossible. We starved him for so many days, and we didn't give him anything to eat after that. Even if he was released, he couldn't escape alone." Chapter 18_Admiral Krieg. What? Krieg? Isn't that the strongest pirate group in East Blue? The surrounding guests heard Krieg's name, they were all terrified, and at this moment, a gunshot completely attracted their attention. Bang! One shot at the door killed the Marine just now. Obviously, this man is Krieg's man. A person walked in, sat on the seat, and then said weakly, "Anything will do, hurry up, serve, is this a restaurant?" "Are you rich?" "We only welcome the rich, not the poor," asked Patty, Barate's chef. The man wanted to threaten, but was knocked to the ground by Patty with a punch. No one expected a chef to be so powerful, and everyone applauded. At this time, Patty saw Shu King and others, and then asked, "Excuse me, gentlemen, do you have any money?" Shu King didn't want to be entangled, so he took out his bailee and said, "Of course, the 5 of us." Seeing this, Patty immediately said with a flattering look, "Welcome to the 5. Please take your seat." Shu King and the others naturally started tasting the food in the pirate world, but Krieg's subordinate was naturally thrown out of the restaurant by Patty. Then, when it came to recruiting Sanji, Luffy volunteered to go. Was the first time that Shu King saw Luffy's enthusiasm for recruiting partners, which was greater than his enthusiasm for eating. Therefore, Shu King, Zoro, Usopp and Nami immersed themselves in the food here. Barate has a good environment and money, and the service it enjoys is naturally top-notch. However, after Sanji and Luffy came back, they naturally had a lot of trouble. Sanji took out a rose and confessed to Nami directly. At this time, Zeph said, "This is a great opportunity, Sanji, why don't you go and become a pirate with them? This shop doesn't need you anymore." "What do you mean?" Sanji immediately asked back. "You're a burden to this store, that's what I mean," Zeph said seriously, looking at Sanji. "Anyway, the chefs don't like you, so just go be a pirate or something, and get out of this shop." "Humph, smelly old man, no matter what you say, I'm going to be a chef here, and you won't be allowed to have any opinions." Sanji and Zeph actually got into a fight. Shu King patted his forehead and felt a very headache. In order to convince Sanji, everyone persuaded Sanji again and again, but Sanji always felt that Barate was more suitable for him. Shu King and Luffy decided to stay in Barate for a few more days to see if Sanji could change his mind. However, after many attempts, everyone was finally discouraged. Everyone was about to pack up and leave the restaurant on the sea. In the thick fog, they saw a huge ship heading towards Barate. As the ship got closer, the pattern on the pirate ship's flag and the logo on the bow were also seen by many guests. Hourglasses demonstrating to the enemy hang on either side of the skull. That flag is. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's the overlord of the East Blue, Lord Krieg. Barate's entire ship has been completely messed up, not only the restaurant, but also the kitchen. After all, the most powerful pirate group in East Blue is the Krieg pirate group. As the pirate ship sailed closer, everyone saw that the pirate ship was already dilapidated. What's going on? It doesn't look like it was attacked by artillery, but it doesn't look like it was sabotaged. Sanji looked at the ship and couldn't understand. Hey, Shu King, what should we do? Usopp looked at Shu King and asked. After all, in Usopp's eyes, Shu King was stronger than Luffy. It's alright, let's wait and see. Zoro, you should be somewhat aware of the cracks on this ship, right? Shu King asked with a smile. You mean? Zoro naturally understood in an instant. Is this a slash? Sure enough, it looks like he was hit by sword energy. No matter who cuts it out, he must be a very strong swordsman. Zoro also said with Vivi squinting. Krieg quickly entered the lobby, and he was supported by his subordinate Jin, begging for food and water very sincerely. However, everyone knows that Krieg is notorious, and naturally no one will give him a sip of water or food. At this time, Sanji took out the rice again. After Krieg was full, he really took the initiative to attack Sanji. Hey, this guy really is a despicable villain. Usopp looked at Krieg and said. At this time he also took a step back in fear. However, Zoro, Luffy, and Shu King did not retreat. Krieg didn't do anything to the three, but looked around and said, this restaurant is not bad. This boat is mine. Our boat is in tatters and needs a new one. When you're done, get off the boat, Krieg said. There are about 100 subordinates alive on my ship now, all hungry and seriously injured. First, prepare me water and food for 100 people. Some people have starved to death. Bring them up immediately, Krieg ordered. Impossible. Knowing that you will attack us, do you want us to help them? The chefs refused. Rejection. Make no mistake, I'm not ordering food, I'm ordering you. No one is allowed to rebel against this uncle. Krieg roared very domineeringly. At this moment, Sanji slowly got up and said, I'm going to prepare food and water for 100 people. What Sanji did was beyond the comprehension of normal people. However, all the chefs stop Sanji, thinking that Sanji is a traitor. In the end, Sanji said his golden sentence. I don't care if the other party is a bad guy or not. I'm a chef. If someone is hungry, I will feed him. It's that simple. Isn't that what the so-called chef is? Seeing this, Shu King also took a few steps forward and said, let Sanji go, this is Chef Sanji's belief, and there is no reason to stop him. The chefs had no choice but to let Sanji go. And Krieg smiled proudly and said, haha. That's right. That's it. The impulsive Patty also attempted to confront Krieg, but he was also stopped by Zoro, Luffy and others. Not bad. Do what you should do honestly, and I will spare your life with great mercy. Haha. Krieg was very proud, and thought it was his fierce reputation that shocked everyone, but Krieg, who is self-righteous, was still unscrupulous. However, at this time, Shu King had already moved. The power of the devil instantly blessed him, and then he kicked out with one foot, and his body rushed out at an extremely fast speed. Only after hearing a dong, the vicious Krieg leader was kicked out of Barate. Sanji did what a chef should do, and I did what I should do. It shouldn't be bullying, right? After all, he is a vicious pirate with a full stomach. Shu King said handsomely, attracting the attention and praise of everyone present. Chapter 19 Hawk, Eyed Man __. The leader of the strongest pirate group in East Blue. He was killed with a single blow. Who is such a terrifying person? Who even suspects that he is bullying the weak? The guests on Barate were both shocked and delighted at this time. Luffy grinned. He naturally knew Shu King's strength and understood Shu King's purpose. Usopp didn't know what to say. He knew Shu King, but he had never had a standard to measure it. Now that he was compared with others, Usopp at least determined that Shu King was the strongest on the ship. Shu King, it's boring for you to take action. Next, can you give it to me? Luffy said. Of course, this guy is just right for you. As for his cadres, I'll leave it to you. Shu King had lost interest in Krieg. Shu King didn't kill the killer, but smashed Krieg away. Now that Krieg tried his best to return to Barate, he naturally rushed towards Shu King in a rage. But at this time, Chef Zeph came out slowly, handed over food and water for 100 people to Krieg, and said, don't make trouble with them, just leave. Krieg froze Isho, but took the food and water to his boat first. And Jin also took this opportunity to tell everything that happened on the Great Waterway. I see. Hawk-eyed man. Zoro thought about what Shu King said before, and naturally he understood everything. The roar of the Krieg pirates' subordinates could already be heard in the cabin, and all the chefs were ready to defend Barate. But at this moment, a figure appeared on the sea. The man just waved the knife in his hand gently. Krieg's main ship was cut off on the sea. How is that possible? How can such a ridiculous thing happen? Krieg was completely shocked, even if he was punched by East Blue's little pirates, and now his huge main ship was cut off with a knife. At this time, everyone rushed out immediately, and Joseph and Johnny swam over from the sea. Where's the boat? Usopp was taken aback, thinking that the boat was affected. Where's Nami? Zoro asked. I'm sorry, bro, she's not here anymore. Johnny and Joseph naturally wouldn't be Sly Nami's opponents. Nami robbed Mary and all the treasure and ran away. Joseph said bitterly. What did you say? Luffy, Usopp and Zoro were shocked. Why are you still so calm? Usopp was also very puzzled. Shu King said. Don't worry, I know where Nami went, but, how about you pay more attention there? One of the King Shichibukai, the strongest swordsman in the world, Hawkeye Mahawk. Shu King directly announced the identity of the other party. Zoro's pupils were also extremely constricted. A person in front of him was riding a one-person boat, with a cross-shaped knife on his back and a black western hat, and his eyes were sharp like an eagle. Could it be? This is Hawkeye. Zoro couldn't tell whether he should be happy or excited. He went out to sea to find Hawkeye. By the way, Shu King, do you know where Nami went? What happened? Luffy asked. Hey, tell me a little bit about the situation. Usopp still asked about the process. Then, both Usopp and Zoro were extremely angry. Damn it. She actually took advantage of the situation during this extraordinary period. Zoro naturally hated the feeling of being cheated. That ship was left to us by Kaya. Usopp cherished the ship even more. However, Luffy finally said, I have to make her our navigator, what do you think? Shu King, by the way, you said you know where Nami is going. What's going on? Everyone then turned their attention to Shu King. I said, whose bounty was Nami looking at the time? Shu King asked Johnny and Joseph. Fishman Arlong. This guy is a guy with a bounty of 20 million Baileys. Among the pirates in East Blue, no one is his opponent in a single fight. After all, he is a fish man. The answer is that Nami did it for a reason. She had to go back to her village, and their village was occupied by this big bully fishman Arlong. Arlong told him that if he collected 100 million Bailey, he would let their village go. Shu King said. So it is. Luffy and the others suddenly realized. However, Shu King, how did you know that? Everyone asked in confusion. You all call me a prophet. It's normal to know these things, right? Shu King simply put it off. He didn't choose to explain. Since he's a big bully, then his words won't count, right? Usopp guessed. Of course, Shu King has said that he is a big bully, so there shouldn't be anything wrong. Zoro also agreed. Among the Straw Hat group, although Luffy was obviously the captain, Luffy would still listen to Shu King's opinions on some decision-making matters. As for the others, Shu King was extremely recognized. Everyone discussed what to do together, and as for how to do it, it was Shu King who planned it. Shu King was like the brain of the whole ship, and Luffy was the soul of the Straw Hats. Zoro, Usopp, and I will go after Nami together. As for Luffy, stay here and do what you need to do. Shu King probably made a plan so that Luffy could recruit Sanji. And Zoro has a chance against Hawkeye. Then Johnny, Joseph and others brought their boat over, and the three immediately boarded the boat and chased out in the direction of Mary. But soon, Zoro was attracted by Hawkeye. He took the initiative to draw his knife, jumped off the boat, and challenged Hawkeye. Contest. Sad underdog. The current Hawkeye looked down on Zoro at all. Then Hawkeye teleported directly to Zoro's shipboard and said, even if there is no confrontation, I must be able to see the difference in strength between you and me. If you dare to face me with swords, should you say that you have courage or ignorance? It's because of my ambition. And it's because of the promise with my best friend. Zoro was ready for a fight, however, Mihawk pulled out the pendant around his neck and pulled it off, revealing the inside pocket knife. Although you are a well-known swordsman, this is the weakest sea of the 4 seas, East Blue. Unfortunately, I don't have a smaller knife than this, Mihawk said. There is also a limit to looking down on people. Zoro rushed over immediately upon seeing this. Hawkeye said, "Frog at the bottom of the well, just let you see the vast blue sky." Zoro shouted, "Ghost slash." Unexpectedly, Zoro's attack was easily blocked by Hawkeye's knife. How is this possible? Zoro was shocked. He didn't expect his strongest blow to be blocked so easily by Hawkeye. Immediately afterwards, no matter how Zoro swung his knife, he couldn't reach Hawkeye at all, and was firmly blocked by Hawkeye. It can't be that much worse. Zoro was beaten again and again. After all, the difference in strength was too great. Chapter 20_Devil Suit, Seeking Collection. Seeking Silver Ticket. Like the plot, the current Zoro is by no means Hawkeye's opponent. Therefore, Zoro was finally defeated by Hawkeye, but he would rather die than take the initiative to admit his failure. This stubborn and persistent spirit infected Hawkeye. "Sign up for the kid," Hawkeye said. "Roranoa Zoro," Zoro said. "I will remember it, the long-lost powerhouse." Mihawk pulled out his knife while speaking. "In order to show the etiquette of a swordsman, I will send you to the sea with this strongest black sword." Mihawk seemed to be saying a fact. "That's so grateful." Zoro turned the knives in both hands, and Mihawk charged directly at Zoro. 3 swords, 3,000 worlds. Zoro and Hawkeye crossed each other. In just 1 second, the knife in Zoro's hand shattered directly. Losing. Is this the strongest force in the world? Zoro turned around and suddenly opened his arms at Mihawk. What? Mihawk didn't understand Zoro. The scars on the back are the disgrace of the swordsman. Zoro is evil and charming Isho, seems to have looked down on life and death. Great. Mihawk slashed down. Zoro's blood splashed out immediately, and then Zoro lost control of his body and finally fell into the water. Zoro! Luffy yelled in concern. Zoro! Usopp was also terrified. Big brother. Joseph and Johnny were naturally sad and painful. Stop Luffy, then leave it to me. After Shukang left 4 words, he disappeared in a teleportation, and when he reappeared, he had placed Zoro on the deck of the ship. Immediately afterwards, Shukang appeared in front of Hawkeye again, and even Hawkeye was very surprised when he looked at Shukang. Are you Zoro's comrade? You rescued Zoro from the sea, and he didn't touch a single drop of water. It can be seen that you are also a swordsman, right? You seem to be very strong. Thank you for not shooting. Mihawk first expressed his gratitude, and then said to Zoro, "You want to die too early, it's Dracula Mihawk. See yourself clearly, people know the world, become stronger. No matter how many years have passed, I will wait for you in this strongest position. Go beyond this sword. Go beyond me, Roranoa Zoro," Hawkeye shouted. Hawkeye then turned to look at Shukang and said, "Boy, let's go to another place, shall we fight?" That's what I mean, wait for me a moment. Shukang saw his own strength at a glance, and immediately shouted, "Luffy. Usopp, according to our original plan, I will try my best with you. Rendezvous. You go, we got it." Everyone was very at ease with Shukang, and naturally they let Shukang leave. "Let's go, there is an uninhabited island not far away, we can be there." After Hawkeye finished speaking, he rowed his own boat and directly used the slash to create huge power, prompting the boat to move in one direction rush quickly. And Shukang directly stimulated the power of the devil, growing the wings of the devil, rushing in that direction at a faster speed, and soon surpassed the Eagle Eye. A swordsman with devil fruit ability. Interesting. I didn't expect this trip to be worth it. When I came to East Blue, I encountered such an interesting opponent. Shu Kang was flying in the air at a very fast speed, and it didn't take long before he saw his nearest island. This island is very desolate. It seems that there are no plants, let alone animals. However, such an island happened to be what Shu Kang needed. At this time, the sound of the system was long overdue. Ding ding ding. Congratulations to the host. You have successfully arrived at the famous sea restaurant Barate, and successfully left. Congratulations. Got a demon suit, said the system. And then, Shu Kang felt that the clothes on his body had become a little different. Shu Kang's clothes were now shrouded in a golden light, and his whole body exuded inexplicable light, which seemed to be extremely unusual. Shu Kang didn't quite understand the definition of a demon suit, so he took the initiative to ask, System, before Hawkeye arrives, can you explain what a demon suit is? System responded naturally. The devil suit is the suit that matches your devil fruit ability. Your fruit ability is like a demon, so this demon suit will automatically fit on your body. At the same time, you can use your mind to control the demon suit, and he can change into various forms at will. Quote. This suit has extremely terrifying ductility and defense. Therefore, wearing a demon suit can effectively defend against most attacks, and it can automatically clean the body. When you sleep, it will automatically change into pajamas for you, but still it can protect you from being attacked by anyone. After the system explained it again, Shu Kang understood. Control it with your mind. Is that so? Shu Kang just moved his thoughts, but he didn't expect the clothes on his body to change directly. At this moment, Shu Kang has a long black cloak behind his back. Although the gloves on his hands are dark, they are extremely beautifully printed. As for the shoes under his feet, they are also comfortable and beautiful, and of course there are comfortable pants. Finally, with the handsome hat on his head, it can be said that Shu Kang turned himself into a cool look with just one thought. Compatible with the Zanpakuto on Shu Kang's waist, it can be said that Shu's appearance at this time is simply too cool. Handsome. This devil suit is really convenient. Only wearing this suit can I be interested. Shu Kang smiled with satisfaction. At this time, Hawkeye had arrived, and seeing Shu Kang had arrived, he was not surprised. With a snort of Hawkeye, the whole person teleported to Shu Kang. I changed a set of clothes out of thin air. Is this also your fruit ability? Hawkeye asked. Let's put it this way, it's one of the abilities that I don't have much at the moment. Shu Kang didn't pull out his knife, but slowly lifted it up. Upon seeing this, Hawkeye didn't even think about it at all. He directly pulled out his supremely sharp sword, the black sword Yi, and locked Shu Kang with his eagle-like eyes. With your current strength, East Blue doesn't know your opponent. I'm curious, what do you want? Hawkeye Mahawk asked Shu Kang's motives. Shu Kang said indifferently, what I have to do is to follow everyone and arrive at Laugh Tale together. Is it your goal to be One Piece, King of Pirates? Hawkeye asked. No, in the end, it's just to become One Piece, King of Pirates. The pattern is not too grand for me. I have my bigger ambitions. Shu Kang's words shocked Hawkeye. It seems that you will be a very good opponent. I really want to see you. Let's do it. Let me see if your strength is in line with your ambitions. Are you a soaring bird, or a liar who can only talk big? We'll find out soon. At this moment, Mahawk's whole body exuded a faint chill.